Nebraska t-shirt and tan shorts. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Research shows people ignore radio ads. While I want you to remember that Liberty Mutual customizes and saves you hundreds on home insurance, I know no one's listening, so I can say anything. I can even tell Jenny that I never stop thinking about us. Sometimes I almost call, but I only truly feel safe revealing this in the privacy of my nationally broadcast radio ad.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com. Savings may vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Okay, outdoor summer cocktail party fit check. I've got a hot pink and orange bodycon dress paired with vintage sneakers. It'll definitely attract attention, but not from mosquitoes, because I'm wearing it with Off Clean Feel for 8 gorgeous hours of not sticky, fragrance-free protection. So I can sip, socialize, and flirt out there in the wild with absolutely unshakable confidence. Get your pre-party protection on with Off Clean Feel. SC Johnson, a family company.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
You never want a serious crisis to go to waste. And what I mean by that, it's an opportunity to do things that you think you could not do before.
After damning politicians uphill and down dale for many years as rogues, vagabonds, frauds, and scoundrels, I sometimes suspected, like everyone else, I often expect too much of them.
There's a fantastic site. One of the leaders of it is a guy that worked for me at Breitbart, Jeff Poor, and he had worked for Tucker before at Daily Caller, so this guy's very well trained. Jeff Poor is a rock star. They have a great site down in Alabama, a news site called 1819 News, which is when Alabama was came into the Union as a state. Fantastic site.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Appreciate everybody joining the program today, and joining us to kick things off, we have Jeff Poor. He's the editor-in-chief there at 1819 News, also host of the Jeff Poor Show there in Mobile, 106.5 FM. Jeff, how are you this afternoon?
Well, you snuck one in on me there, didn't you, Joey?
I might have. What was that like seeing your old buddy Steve there give that shout-out?
I mean, it's there was the best of times. It was the worst of times. My time with Bannon. I don't think he was hard. I'll just say he was very hard to work for, but we were able to accomplish some really cool things while working for him.
Well, and it's always good to get a good shout out. Life can be messy, and it's funny. You're friends and you're not, and it's your colleagues and you're not, and it all comes back together, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I'm certainly. It was very kind to him to say that. I'm not trying to be ungrateful by any means, but I'll just say it wasn't all a picnic. He got his money's worth out of me.
Well, there you go. Now, as we look forward to this week, and I'm very much looking forward to seeing Donald John Trump in person this Friday here in Montgomery. I mean, any comments not just on like what's going on with the news, but the fact that we're blessed here in Alabama to have this guy on the day he's indicted for conspiracy against the United States.
It's going to be wild, right? Everybody's going to be watching, going to know what he's going to say. You're going to have left-wing media types really, really wanting to be there. My guess, Joey, he's going to get a rock star reception, probably like none we've ever seen before. Because this is just the nature of politics right now.
Well, and it is. It seems that, what's the term? I think Bannon came up with this, post-persuasion America, where it's not about really reaching across the aisle and persuading folks in a reasonable manner. It's more about mobilizing your team, mobilizing your tribe, and I guess we have to just lean into it going into 2024.
So my big thing for the last, I don't know, 6 months, politics. This is just an old saying that politics is a game of addition, not subtraction. And my problem with Trump was always, what is he doing on the addition side of the equation? There's lots going on that would make me think there's a subtraction effect going on. He's damaged goods, all these indictments. None of this stuff is good. If he had his way, do you think Donald Trump would be facing indictments today, or would he not? If he had to pick, and my guess is not. However, there does seem to be an effect here, if you believe the polls. And I'm not one of these poll deniers, but the trend, I like to look at the trend, and the trend is going his way. He's gaining support. He is gaining support among Republicans in the primary, and it appears, even through the awful prism of the mainstream media, that he is gaining support in these national polls. This New York Times poll that has it tied 43-43 is a real eye-opener to me, because if Trump is tied in the popular vote with Joe Biden right now, he's president of the United States. He wins the Electoral College.
And yet I've had a lot of smart people who, from very different points of view, from Democrat land, from the kooky libertarian world, from mainline conservatism to us, I guess, rebels here in Alabama. Everybody's saying the establishment, the regime, will never let him be sworn in again. They'll do whatever it takes. Do you buy this thing? But I'm hearing it from everywhere.
Yeah, one of my guests, that was his take on it, that there's a 0% chance that Trump would be allowed to take the oath of office in 2024, or 2025, I should say. I don't know. I mean, politics is a weird way of working, and I am not. Here's the problem I have with a lot of this, Joey. People tend to give government bureaucrats and these deep state types way too much credit, way too much ability, and just based on my time in Washington, D.C., being around these elitists, being around these people who think they're so much smarter than you and I, they're not impressive people. They're not. They're just not. They've done things in life that got them to where they are, and some of it is power. But being a government bureaucrat is not the most lucrative thing you can do with your life. But anyway, that being said, I am just not convinced the federal government is capable of some grand overarching conspiracy. They can use brute force, and that seems to be the easiest path. But all of this behind the scenes shenanigans and black helicopter stuff, I don't know that I am a believer that that this behemoth bureaucracy can pull it off successfully, because I am just not convinced the talent is there to do it.
Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head, and it's a big reason for hope that the ruling class is not made up of impressive people. And there's a quote I recently saw Colonel Douglas McGregor kicking around. He meant it just for the Pentagon, but it might apply to, say, wars, literal and metaphorical. It was a quote from Nietzsche that war makes the victor stupid. And so these folks have gotten so used to being in the number one spot, being able to, move the world, or at least assume they have that ability, that it kind of makes them dumb to everything going on around them, to where you can have creative ways of making inruns.
Yeah, I think there's something to that. I mean, you take a lot of these assumptions for granted. You look at the world in a way through your prism that doesn't necessarily meet reality. You apply conventional wisdom to a lot of places where it shouldn't be, and expecting to get an outcome that suits you based on that, it's not a given. And I keep going back in my head okay, try to emotionally separate allegiances and ideologies, leave all that behind, kind of go into a yoga state. And the only thing I want you to focus on is, if you are just looking at this objectively, you do not care who wins. You want to make money off of this, or you got some kind of incentive, and you just want to know who the winner is, and you're using all your abilities and all of your powers to try to figure out who the winner is. It is hard for me to get to a place where I could say I feel good about where Joe Biden is today.
Right. It's tough. We were saying on your show this morning, it's hard to see the future here in a way that's scary and ominous, and another way it could be exciting and mean good things. Before I get off this topic, and I kind of want to move to this fight between chairman of the GOP here in Alabama and the AEA in a second, but in all your time working in and around covering Washington, D.C., covering politics, it could be Alabama, it could be D.C., it could be wherever, even in just the press corps, are there some folks that you've met where you go, damn, that person's impressive? That is an actual adult in the room, or is it really as bad as we kind of hinted at earlier?
There's some people that I walk away from conversations. Like in that world, one of the most impressive people I thought was Charles Krauthammer. If you remember him, I mean, there are people in government, there are smart people on Capitol Hill that work for the members. Some of the members are fantastic. I mean, and then there's some that just like, oh my God, how did you get elected? I mean, you couldn't even be a waiter at like Waffle House or something. I don't, but somehow they won a popularity contest. But that being said, there are smart people that are in that world, and that's just where life brought them. But there's just a lot of people who I think it's not maybe they're not stupid people, but they're not. I mean, they're not inventing the cure for cancer or doing brain surgery or anything like that by any means. I mean, they're not on that level. But we tend to, as kind of civilians, Joey, put these people in government on a pedestal, and that's the way we view them. And I'm just telling you, they haven't earned that. They shouldn't be up there. They're not as impressive as maybe the perceptions maybe Hollywood has led us to believe.
Yeah, and I keep saying that these folks are wearing wolf pelts, acting like big bad wolves going around the world and scaring everybody. I'm like, you didn't even kill the wolf. Your grandfather killed the wolf. Your grandfather and your great-grandfather did amazing things, and you've inherited that. But I don't think y'all have proven yourselves just yet. And again, maybe that opaque future is the test coming for people in D.C. and everybody else.
Yeah, one more point on that. It's just like an academicification of Washington, D.C. and the bureaucracy that this works on paper, therefore this must work, but they don't really know how the real world works, and there's just too many variables to enact your central planning ideas and try to gauge what human behavior is going to do because you're too separated from it, being in your elite circles and, going to your book club and your viewing habits and your Kennedy Center season tickets. I mean, you are not a typical American, and you don't really understand the viewpoints of typical Americans.
All right, it's hopefully it'll come back to bite them in the butt, but we shall see. I tend to think they are not impressive. I don't think they're legitimate by the principles they appeal to, but their legitimacy is, we got to give it to them. There's a strength there. They still dominate a lot of the conversation and seem to dominate, say, the legal system and so many other things. So we'll see how it shakes out. But I don't want to forget about this because it really caught my interest with Alabama's GOP John Wall and the AEA kind of going at it. Can you give us the backstory on why the AEA was frustrated with Chairman Wall?
So what had happened, I believe, so there's a long-standing historic feud between the AEA and Republicans in Alabama. And it really came to a head in the 2010 cycle. Republicans finally won, and then they did the best they could at the time to try to marginalize the AEA, and they had some success. Slowly but surely, the AEA's been making a comeback. They've ingratiated themselves to a lot of Republican politicians who can look at campaign contributions and see this. And I think the next step was they were trying to ingratiate themselves with the Alabama Republican Party. John Wall, they were trying to get relief. There's a rule of the books that's not enforced about campaign contributions and Republicans, and they were trying to get that off the books. And so they were really trying to make a good faith effort here to get on the good side of the Republican Party. But then this thing happened after this legislative session. The AEA newsletter goes out every week. It's a weekly newsletter called The Pulse, and they took victory laps on some big Republican issues: school choice, the grocery tax, because it was only 2 and not the entire 4 cents. And then the critical race theory, divisive concepts, they taught like, hey, look, we as the AEA, and they sent this to their members, we stopped this. We did this for you. We took it to those Republicans and they did a sort of a victory lap, which caught a lot of Republicans off guard. I think upset a lot of Republicans. So the reaction from rank and file Republicans, those members of the executive committee, led by John Wall, is we got to start taking punitive measures because they are standing in the way of Republican priorities. That is a problem. That is a problem for our members. We're going to start by doing that here. So, when Wall made that announcement yesterday, the AA pushed back, and then Wall pushed back some more, and that's sort of where we are right now. My understanding is, Joey, this is kind of a weird thing going on in Alabama politics. You have the AEA calling and lobbying members of the Alabama Republican Party Executive Committee, telling them not to vote for this. So it's a fascinating thing. One more thing on this, though. It would prohibit donations or contributions to school board and superintendent races. A lot of these races, here's a dirty little secret, are nonpartisan. You don't run with an R or D next to your name. So I don't know if the efficacy here is really, if it really matters in the grand scheme of things.
Well, that's a fantastic point about those local municipal elections. You're right, they are nonpartisan. But though I do love any, say, GOP chairman that isn't just ceremonial, like he's actually trying to have some party discipline and some clear party rules everybody must heed. But I do get a kick out of the AEA saying, well, we're unique. We're Alabama. And it's like, aren't y'all an arm of the NEA? Like, you can't act like you're not fruit from the rotten tree here.
Well, and here's what's remarkable about that. Now, I sat across the table from AEA folks. They're very nice people.
Sure.
And I think they're sincere. They disavow or they deny any association with the NEA. They say they downplay it every single time. So I don't know what to think of that. I guess it's going to take an all-out rebuke of the NEA by the AEA for people to really believe that. But that's kind of where we are.
That's where I'm at. Why not just make it official if that's how they really feel? I think that would be a good step in the right direction. Now that you've got the governor seems to be changing her mind on school choice and education savings accounts and other things, maybe the shift is here where the AA is brought to heel, though, again, to your point, just to underline it, there are a lot of great people working all over the place, and I don't mean this on a personal basis.
Well, here's what we need to know about the AEA. They're not, I mean, maybe at one point when Paul Hubbard was running the AEA, he was controlling the business of the state. He was tilling the big mules and all these business interests. No, teachers, my constituents go first, then I'll allow business to move through the legislature. That was a problem. But now, I mean, I think the AA is a teachers union. It is functioning exactly as the teachers union you would expect it to. They're acting on behalf of their constituents. Where the problem lies, Joey, it is the Republicans for letting this happen.
Yes.
They can tell them no. They can say, no, we're not going to do this. This is not in our best interest. That's where the problem lies. The AA may be a convenient villain, but they're just doing, it's like what's in their nature. What do you expect them to do?
Amen. I think that is right. The GOP in the state supposedly has the power. They need to show it. It is on them. The ball's in their court. I always appreciate your time, Jeff. If folks want to check out what you're writing about, what you're thinking about, how can they do so?
Twitter.com/Jeff_Poor, kind of a one-stop shop for everything that I do.
Well, always appreciate the time. Talk again soon.
Thanks again, Joey.
Again, that's Jeff Poor, editor-in-chief of 1819 News, also host of the Jeff Poor Show there in Mobile. Eddie and Sky, how you two doing?
Doing great.
Yeah. Wait, Eddie, do you
Eddie's preoccupied.
He made a face when I was like, there are good people everywhere. Like, why are you so... I hate to come out of the gate so hot here, but why are you so vindictive?
Because yesterday I had a $1,000 package that's supposed to be delivered to my house.
Yeah.
But UPS knocked on the door. I didn't hear them. The way they have decided to fix this is they're going to deliver it 30 miles from my house and tell me to come get it.
Just because
that's how they fixed it.
That is frustrating. I get it. But just because they share it, I guess a name that could be an acronym, UPS is not the same thing as the AEA.
No, but it is.
And you're saying there aren't good UPS people?
Oh,
you're telling me that when the UPS guy shows up in those short, tight brown shorts, you aren't a little excited to see the fella bring your package up there?
Not as much as my dog is, because I usually bring him a treat. But this is a logistics company that said, hey, this is the best way to fix this. We're going to deliver it 30 miles from your house, and tell you better go get it.
What side of the road? What?
It's on the other side of the lake. They literally delivered it to Slap Out and said, "Hey, this is our closest pickup point to your house. 30 miles
when did this
from
happen?
my house. Today, just in the last 5 minutes.
Okay, I see why you're hot about it.
Yeah, it's just. And again, what are you going to do? It's UPS. What are you going to do? We got another business out there that can do this? No.
Well, maybe the United States Postal Service.
I used to think UPS was the answer to the Postal Service, but I see now, when you have a monopoly on a business, you give everybody the middle finger, and what are they going to do?
Justice for Slap Out and the lake people, man. Come on.
The lake people. What, they got gills up there? Actually,
it's a whole scene.
Do some people up there have gills? There was one sandbar we went by. Everybody was having a good time. I'm like, I think I see some flaps there on the neck, and I'm not talking about
that was
fat
just
flaps.
extra skin, buddy.
Oh, okay. Well, weight loss
She's losing
program.
some weight, man.
Okay,
Give her a break,
you're right.
all right?
I just thought she could breathe underwater.
She probably can, actually.
How about this? Let's hit a break. We got Parker Snyder of 1819 News coming up. A fascinating story about a famous NFL player, John Hanna, but he's actually a small-time cattleman.
Yeah.
And he's talking about how they've destroyed all the small family-owned farms and many other, say, products and livestock, but they're now doing it to cattle. And incredible story written
all
up
those
by...
cow farts. It's all the cow farts.
Yeah, exactly. Or it's really this, I heard Victor Davis Hanson talking about this with almonds, like they're in the, what is that, big valley there in Southern California. It's very rich soil.
Yeah.
And he said, I now have to rent out, I still own my family farm, but I now have to lease it out to a guy who has something like 24,000 acres.
Good
I think he
Lord.
has something 800 or something like that. So it's like, because I can't, as a small family farm, make a profit on it.
Yeah.
You've got to go economy of
No,
scale.
I know how that works.
And there's so much of this is due to regulations and the world market and trade policies. And John Hanna lays out in detail how it is really affecting the small cattlemen out there.
Yeah, they're going to regulate us right into starvation.
They are.
Yeah.
Well, kind of the plan there, Scott.
Right. You will own nothing and you'll be happy.
Right.
Why is it you? Why isn't it we will own nothing and we'll all be happy? Why is it, if it's just you, what about the other guy? Is he going to own nothing?
Yeah.
Or-
Your neighbor.
It's we the people against them. Pretty much.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by River Region Contracting.
Those are good folks now.
They
Give them
really
that.
are
They
great
are good
folks there at River Region Contracting. And, well, what they can do is give you peace of mind. That's number one. Their inspections and estimates are always free. And so if you just haven't had that roof checked out in a while, or maybe you had a storm or some bumps in the middle of the night roll through and you're worried about the integrity of your roof, well, they can get out there and check it out for you. And, again, it's free. They can go look at it and be like, you're fine, man. But now, if you're starting to get to that 12, 13, 15-year mark,
you're
consider a
approaching
full
end of
re-roof.
life. Yeah.
It's worth it.
Oh, definitely.
Especially if you're thinking about upkeeping the value of your property. They can do asphalt roofs, metal roofs. They actually show up on time. They actually get the job done well. They don't leave a mess behind.
Right.
And they're also insurance specialists. So if you do have an insurance policy, they can walk you through that claims process.
Oh, certainly.
Make sure it's a swift and easy experience. You've got people with experience on your side fighting
That's
for
what you want.
So check out River Region Contracting today. You can always call them at 356-8635. That's 356-8635. And be sure to tell them you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. More News and Views, well, after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Picture this. A serene, tranquil resting place surrounded by nature's beauty. A place where memories are cherished and loved ones are forever remembered. We're talking about your final resting place, and it's never too early to start planning for it. Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka has been family owned and operated for over 55 years. We understand the importance of pre-need planning. You can make decisions that reflect your personal wishes. You can choose the perfect location, whether it's a serene garden, a peaceful mausoleum, or a place in our cremation wall. Pre-need planning alleviates the burden from your loved ones during a time of grief. By planning ahead, you can secure today's prices, protecting yourself and your family from future cost increases. So why wait? Contact Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka today. Your final resting place should be a reflection of your unique journey. Take control of your future and make pre-need planning a priority. Pineview Memorial Gardens in Wetumpka, where memories live on.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair.
Looking for a new career with flexible hours, competitive pay, generous paid time off, and countless benefits? Then visit us at our job fair for the Riverside Marketplace at Wind Creek, Wetumpka, from 2 to 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, August 15th and 22nd, and Thursday, September 7th at the Entertainment Center. Can't make it? No problem. You can also visit our Career Center at Wind Creek, Wetumpka from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Kickstart your new career today.
Attention all DJs, program directors, A&Rs, and record breakers. You are cordially invited to the private listening party for new artists, the Southern Soul Vixen Toy Toy, hosted by The Nest at ASU Stadium, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. Attention, DJs, program directors, A&Rs, and record breakers only. August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. You are cordially invited to the private listening party hosted by The Nest at the ASU Stadium. RSVP at CEO Bread at FaceFactsMusic.com or call 205-213-2179 for info. See you there.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for waterproof carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
During Prattville Carpet's summer sale, you can get Mohawk waterproof flooring, regularly priced at $11 per foot installed, right now priced at $7 per foot installed. That's huge summer savings. And get interest-free financing for up to 12 months with approved credit. Call 285-8117 or visit PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
All the headlines the mainstream media won't touch. Your News Talk station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. The news and views in the afternoon. Eddie Bader he's making all sorts of racket with the micro. He's still upset about UPS.
There's so much more to this story. Can't go into it.
There's more to the story now?
More. Yeah,
Did I just help you down the rabbit hole there?
No.
Or you're just venting?
Yeah, and plus it's slap out. That's the redneck side of the lake. Now I got to go to redneck Bill.
Right. Redneck side of the lake. I get it.
Direct those phone calls.
Yeah, and what's your side of the lake? The Hicks?
We're the proper side of the lake. The prim and proper.
No.
That's the country.
We're in
gentlemen
Titus.
and ladies.
We're a bunch of blue bloods over here near Goat Island. Sure you are.
With a name like Titus compared to slap out? Come on.
Come on. Okay. Now, shush your mouth, because we got a serious story to talk about here with Parker Snyder of 1819 News. Hey, Parker, how you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Well, the story I really wanted to talk with you about is this great write-up at 1819 News about the NFL Hall of Famer turned Alabama farmer John Hanna. And he's really talking about how the small cattle farmer is kind of getting Well, the only word that comes to mind is screwed. Tell folks about this story a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's the most fair word. John Hanna, was one of the most famous offensive linemen in Alabama history. He was a New England Patriot as well, and he's an Alabama cattleman now. And he is only able to be a cattleman because he has his NFL retirement and that pay. But he's basically saying that, these big companies are coming in and they have such major requirements, such regulations that are associated with the government as well, that you can't make a profit on selling your cattle anymore, even though the distributors are getting a ton of money all the time. And so it's really quite a backward situation that is going on, and cattlemen across our state and across the country are facing it.
I mean, what sort of solutions are there, or is it just kind of these are the breaks?
Yeah, I mean, that's I guess the question. So you have two problems here. You have one problem, which is the regulation. So that you can solve by taking away regulation. The second problem is the monopolies, and just the fact that there are only 3 or 4 meat packers, large meat packers that are kind of tell the cattlemen, hey, you need to do this, so I'll purchase your cattle from you. And if they don't do that, they're going to go to the cattlemen down the road.
Yep.
And at some point, you're going to have to decide, I'm going to have to do this because I don't have any money at all.
Well, and I just wanted to describe to folks here in the write-up, and it's really great work by Erica Thomas. She is on fire lately, by the way.
She is.
Erica's just doing great. But she laid out in this write-up how John Hanna's day went. And, folks, so here's the breakdown. I don't know if y'all can relate to it. Maybe you can. His day started about 4:30 a.m. He wakes up, spends time with his wife, and is out on the farm by 5:45 a.m. After putting his cattle in a grazing pattern, he heads back to the house for breakfast. After enjoying a warm meal, he heads out to run errands and finishes his work on the farm each evening. He says, I love my day. I love going on the porch and looking over the fields. And I think one thing he hits on, because I didn't grow up in the farm life, though it's still in the family. I could go visit distant family, say in Andalusia. And he really bemoans the idea that his children aren't going to be, and grandchildren aren't going to be able to experience this sort of lifestyle. And it feels like we're losing something more than just a small business owner. It's like something that's very American.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It just seems like there's, I don't know. I'd be interested in your thoughts on this whole late stage capitalism situation, because that's what our progressive friends are going to say about this situation.
I mean, it depends on how they define capitalism. If they define it as state-driven enterprise and monopoly controlled by the government for corporate interest, well, yeah, we're kind of there. But I think free markets, or what we would like is to free the markets, we want them to be freed, that would be the right way to go. There's a difference between sound property rules and basic, precedents and regulations, and as opposed to the system we have now, where almost every big interest has captured the regulators, has people on the payroll within the government. Or at least a promise to be on the payroll later. It's a rotten system. So that's my response. And actually, I hope that anybody who's a leftist out there would notice that often our critiques align. It's more the solutions. I say downsize the government. They say, well, just make it bigger and reform it, and profit's bad. And I can't. That's where the disagreement starts.
Yeah, it's not, because there's two sides of that issue. There's the government and then the companies. So the left are going to attack the companies, and we're going to be more prone to trying to get regulation gone. But I think one other thing about this story is just I'm not as aware. I don't know about your listeners of like how supply chains work, especially in meat packing. We assume there's a cattle farm, and we assume it gets turned into meat that we can use at some point. But I think a lot of people assume, that all happens at one place, maybe. And like, there's this new system of purchasing and selling. And I think this story is just a good reminder that some farms do one thing and they sell it to the next step, and there's many steps on the supply chain. And if any one of these steps is controlled by, is overregulated or is controlled by a monopoly, it can mess up the entire supply chain and cause people to not be able to live in that entire chain.
Well, and often the secret to power is squeezing necks, and it's even better when you can do it discreetly, where somebody's like, it's like Darth Vader with the Force, choke. You're like, where is it even coming from? And I think what you just described is one way it's done. If you can take up a crucial part of a supply chain in any given industry, and then you have essentially de facto government powers because of certain privileges granted to you, yeah, this is a great way to be a toll keeper and make everybody else pay you for doing not much of anything.
Yeah, and so I don't know what your solution. What is your solution? Do you think it's like buy local? I don't really know what the solution, other than getting in charge and cutting regulation and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I said my ideal government is one so small you could drown it in a bathtub. That seems a little crass. I apologize, folks. I'd want it to be smaller. I'll put it nicely. But I think a short term, a stopgap measure is what Hannah and them are talking about, in that, Coach Tuberville is fighting hard to help with this. I know Thomas Massey is a farmer himself, has a lot of great bills he's putting out. And so I think it's just get rid of those regulations and, yeah, start supporting your local farmer and go to your farmers markets and get to know these folks.
Yeah, I think that makes a lot of sense. And I just would tell your audience, stay kind of aware of these kind of stories, because that headline, to me, it didn't catch my eye necessarily. I saw farm bill, if I'm like a normal Alabamian, but there's a lot of things in the details that are happening in our state that are causing really big impacts. So, the stories that seem, aren't about Joe Biden and Hunter Biden, those aren't the only ones that matter.
Well, Parker, I always appreciate your time. If folks want to check out what you're thinking about, writing about, how can they do so?
Just visit 1819news.com.
Appreciate it, man. Talk again soon.
Thanks, sir.
And Parker Snyder there of 1819news.com. But when Sky Mosley heard the name John Hannah, you pepped up for a second.
Lit up quite a bit. Yeah, the Hog.
The Hog.
Absolutely. Not just my opinion. Probably the greatest offensive lineman in the history of the NFL or college football. John Hannah. Played guard for Bear Bryant.
Okay, wow.
Yeah. Back in the early 70s.
Oh,
when men were men.
Yeah.
We're men.
Football were football.
Weren't afraid of a little slap on the helmet.
That's right.
And they weren't afraid to twist a few things there in the fumble huddle.
Got to do what it takes.
Or the pylon.
The pile.
Yeah. That was real fun. But back to the point of the story, when we were growing up, there were 3 meat packing plants right here in Montgomery, Alabama.
Mm-hmm. How many we got now?
None.
There you go,
Eddie.
That's right.
But as the supply chain has it's been controlled and centralized, and it's much more dangerous, and is John Hannah, and we're all going to find out, much more easily controlled.
Yeah.
And that's what's happening. It's a shame to lose these family farms out to these huge mega corporations.
No different than your mom and pop stores that got run out of town by
Same
Walmart.
thing.
I mean, it's the same thing. It's just it's just a different scale.
And I really do believe if you knock down a lot of the regulations that benefit the big players and crowd out anybody staying alive as a small farmer or any other small business or somebody entering the market for the first time, if you get rid of those regulations, I think the trend of technology is in favor of a smaller thing. Like, a lot of costs have continued to come down, and I think the costs that are going up has a lot more to do with artificial government barriers.
Of course, sure. If you were allowed the real free market to work,
right?
But the game is so rigged against an independent farmer like
well,
John
not just
Hannah.
small. I mean, just small business in general. Whether
Exactly.
you're a family-owned landlord, say you had a bunch of properties and COVID come through, what'd they do? It wiped them out. People like BlackRock picked them all up for pennies on the dollar.
Biggest trips
I mean,
for
this
wealth in the history of the world.
It doesn't
man.
surprise me. It's just surprising that people are finally catching on.
Well, when we start going hungry, maybe more people will pay attention. But because I promise you, that's where we're headed.
Oh, I guarantee it.
Well, and
ration cards, baby.
Yeah.
And the frustrating part, and maybe it's just another reminder of I just need to not sleep and work harder.
Yeah.
Is there's so many of these stories, whether it's, I'm not a farmer, so I wouldn't know all the details in the way, a lot maybe people listening to us know those details. And yet, in that sort of industry, line of life and work, or any other, you hear all these stories, right, Eddie, where not everybody's going to know it because you're not in the industry. So It's all like all these people are experiencing kind of the same common thing of the little guy being crowded out, of the big corporate players and connected people in government owning everything. Right. And yet, because we're so fragmented, like you're in the car manufacturing business, you're in the farming business, you're in the pharmaceutical business, or you're a nurse, or you're a doctor, or you're a teacher, or an educator in some way. or maybe you're seeing it in media too.
Yeah,
definitely. And people, it's maybe just starting to put the common denominator together, because I think everybody's got a fairly common story in that regard.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, it is any industry that can be made to make money or have any kind of power control. They don't want you or me to have it.
And this is why the two candidates that have caught my eye are RFK Jr., because what does he say his number one issue is? This merger of corporate and state power. But you also hear that from Vivek Ramaswamy.
That's
and
right.
then when you hear Trump saying, I will be your revenge against the deep state.
You know, it's a Turkish word. Good word. You know, but sometimes we got too many words. I just got to say, too many words.
The more they indict him, the more people like him, man. And
But what about this I was bringing up with Jeff Porter? We got to hit a break in a second. Because I've heard it from populists, I've heard it from Republicans, mainline conservatives. I've heard it from, like Jeff Dice told us this the other day, kind of your libertarian camp. I hear from Napolitano. Everybody we bring on from different walks of life and people I know in my personal life are saying there is no way the people that run this government will ever let Trump be sworn in 2025.
Right. So all that makes me want to do is make sure I do all I can do to make sure he swears in, because I want to see what they're going to do. I want them to play their hand, because eventually we're going to get sick of that crap.
Yes.
So play them every single one of them, because you're about to be played out.
Hear, hear.
High noon.
I'm telling you, I'm just need a vacation.
You should take a
Don't
vacation
you have one coming
sometime,
up?
Eddie.
Yeah, can't get here quick enough.
You really should.
And you just are you actually not mad about the nation, but it's the UPS guy again?
No, it's the whole thing with UPS. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? There's nothing I can do.
It's the everyman.
There, anything in this country as far as customer service, it's gone. And what are you going to do? Nothing. You can't do nothing.
I don't know what's wrong with me. Like, for some reason, your plight is hilarious.
It's crazy.
You're a little too amused about it.
Right, because he hasn't had to suffer of these kind of things
Well,
yet.
but
It's
he
coming.
laughs at me for my crappy love life, so... Actually,
Well, and what worries me, honestly,
It's
worries
not
me,
going bad now,
is we are getting ready to go on vacation.
Yeah.
So there's a crap storm that I'm going to face, I know. So I just want to make it through, man. I just want to be on the beach in Jamaica.
And you're going to join the show from the beaches.
Oh, yeah. In fact, I did see they have really good, strong Wi-Fi down by the pool at the nude section.
Oh,
So
he's already
we're not
checking
going
it
to do
out.
the nude section, but that might be the backdrop.
Why are you winking?
I thought
Yeah,
that's
you
what-
did.
If you wink with your right eye one more time,
We're
I'm
not
going to
signaling?
take it out, and I'm going to be Joey and Sky and Eddie, my cycloptic friend. And you got to remember, the one-eyed man can't wink; he can only blink.
That's very true.
That's deep.
Yeah, one-eyed Willie. Hey, before we hit this break, tell us about the Alabama Gazette, Sky. They're still hiring?
Yes, the Alabama Gazette is hiring. It's official. Take this number down, 657-7736. The Alabama Gazette, of course, your local hometown conservative newspaper. Over 23 years serving Central Alabama proper. The Alabama Gazette is looking for a print layout artist, also general office help. Most anybody qualifies for that. And then we're going to need some salespeople as well coming up real soon. But take care of the order of business first. Print layout artist, general office help. Excellent opportunity for maybe you're semi-retired, maybe you're just out of work. Do you know what it means to go to work? Can you show up? Well, give the Alabama Gazette a call, 657-7736. Meanwhile, you can find the Gazette at many fine business establishments throughout Central Alabama, and also Tidbits. They publish the games, puzzles, trivia, quiz, etc. A lot of fun tidbits in the Alabama Gazette. 657-7736. Get yourself a job.
Appreciate it, Sky. And before we hit the break, did you see Jeremy Brooks' comment here?
What's that?
He says, looking good today, Joey, like a fresh printed dollar bill. Eddie, well, when don't you look good? When will the Sky Cam show up?
Sky Cam.
Yeah, we got to get a
pretty
Sky
good.
Cam.
Yeah, we
on.
gotta get a Sky Cam.
We'll get it. We'll get it. I might be able to do something here. It won't look great, but I could do something here.
I can't help how I look. But,
You can always blame
I
it on
didn't
the
mean it
camera.
that way. We'll be right back.
He made not know whether he's coming or going. But whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Are we loco at Marguerite's? Oh, yeah. Yes, we are. We've lost our mind at Marguerite's. We're doing polish, rhodium, and inspection of rings only, till August 5th for no charge. Now, everyone else charges $150 to $300. We charge $65 to $100. But forget about that. Bring in up to 5 rings. Doesn't matter if they're from Marguerite's, not. Doesn't matter if you ever shopped at Marguerite's or not. It's real quiet. There's no small print on this. Just trying to create a little traffic at Marguerite's till August 5th. Bring in your old rings. Let us make them look like new.
Hi there. I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage. For years, I've been asking you to call me at Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. Did you know the current national average turn time to close on a mortgage is 48 business days? But not at Alabama Home Mortgage. At Alabama Home Mortgage, our average close time is 16 business days. That's a month faster than the rest. How do we do it? With over 60 years of combined experience in the industry. Our team knows mortgages. Our years of experience yield a better experience for our customers. Folks, time is money. Whether you're looking to buy or refi, don't waste time with another mortgage company, bank, or credit union. We close on time, every time. Give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time. Our fast turn time is just one difference that sets us apart from the rest. It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586368, Equal Housing Lender.
Attention all DJs, program directors, A&Rs, and record breakers. You are cordially invited to the private listening party for new artists, the Southern Soul Vixen Toy Toy, hosted by The Nest at ASU Stadium, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. Attention DJs, program directors, A&Rs, and record breakers only. August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. You are cordially invited to the private listening party hosted by The Nest at the ASU Stadium. RSVP at CEO Bread at FaceFaxMusic.com or call 205-213-2179 for info. See you there.
Are we loco at Marguerite's? Oh, yeah. Yes, we are. We've lost our mind at Marguerite's. We're doing polish, rhodium, and inspection of rings only, till August 5th for no charge. Now, everyone else charges $150 to $300. We charge $65 to $100. But forget about that. Bring in up to 5 rings. Doesn't matter if they're from Marguerite's, not. Doesn't matter if you ever shopped at Marguerite's or not. It's real quiet. There's no small print on this. Just trying to create a little traffic at Marguerite's till August 5th. Bring in your old rings. Let us make them look like new.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Our hot, dry forecast continues today, and on the horizon, more humidity and the return of random storms soon. Today, with abundant sunshine, high temperature near 96, heat index near or above 100. Tonight, slow down to about 75. Tomorrow and Friday, low to mid 90s both days with triple-digit heat indices, scattered random storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. And over the weekend, quite steamy, lots of humidity, more scattered storms, highs in the upper 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Web Bobo with Capital Tractor. For work at your hunting camp or a job site, you need a utility vehicle you can depend on. The Kubota Sidekick from Capital Tractor, power to haul and top speeds of 40 miles per hour. Kubota and Capital Tractor in Montgomery, Brundage, and Greenville.
Attention all DJs, program directors, A&Rs, and record breakers. You are cordially invited to the private listening party for new artists, the Southern Soul Vixen Toy Toy, hosted by The Nest at ASU Stadium, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. Attention DJs, program directors, A&Rs, and record breakers only. August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. You are cordially invited to the private listening party hosted by The Nest at the ASU Stadium. RSVP at CEO Bread at FaceFaxMusic.com or call 205-213-2179 for info. See you there.
We get Montgomery talking 24 hours a day. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader is here. How you doing, Eddie?
I'm doing wonderful, Joey. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, and we got Sky Mosley now on camera.
Yeah, we got the Sky Cam going?
Yeah, you can turn that a little bit and adjust it if you want to improve that a bit. But it's good having all of us here on camera. We're now doing a live stream, folks, so if you're interested in watching the show, or maybe you're just frustrated with the app, this is a great way to listen direct. You can just go to my Facebook page, News Talk 93.1 FM's Facebook page, my Twitter, or it's now X, at the Joey Clark, and then also search Joey Clark on YouTube and look for, well, my smiling face there in a blue suit and a light blue tie.
I have a hard time finding it on the YouTubes.
Yeah,
out of all of them, I don't know why. I mean, even when I go to it, I'll find past episodes, but I have to actually search for the live one.
Right.
I don't
actually
understand
put the live filter on. You should be able to find
Okay.
us, folks.
All right.
Because there are plenty of other Joey Clarks out there. Thank
Oh,
God
man.
none are like doing anything untoward.
Well, I
like,
will
it's mostly
say-
a bunch of old musicians, and
Yeah,
I don't
you guys
mind
could
those
get
old
together
hippies.
and have a great band, the
Yeah,
Joey
old,
Clarks. I mean,
old reformed dirty hippies are now they're my main target audience.
Yeah.
I mean, just listen to our caller.
y'all could be the old Joey Clark's 5.
Tribute band.
Yeah,
Coming
the
to a town
Joeys.
near you.
Welcome back to the program, though, folks. And, of course, the big news today is Donald John Trump. He is being charged with conspiracy, straight up conspiracy in so many ways. And I don't know if I buy this.
Yeah?
I think, as we were just saying, it's going to double down people's support. People are just going to dig
No
their
doubt.
heels in.
No doubt about that.
But he's indicted on 4 felony charges.
Why do you think they made him felon?
Because
It's due time.
I think this is actually bringing up the question, could he actually run?
There you go.
But count 1, conspiracy to defraud the United States. Count 2, conspiracy to obstruct an official proceeding. Count 3, obstruction of an attempt to obstruct an official proceeding. Count 4, conspiracy against rights.
One of those carries up to a death penalty. Did you know that?
Really?
I did not know
Check
that.
it out.
And 300-something years in prison, possibly?
Well, there's a lot of time, but one of them actually could include a death penalty.
Boy.
I forget which charge.
You know, and I know, if they had their
Try that
opportunity,
one.
that's
Yeah.
where it would go immediately.
Yeah.
Well, and some of the
Can't make it retroactive. Yeah. Sorry.
some of the co-conspirators are names like Rudy Giuliani,
Yeah.
Sidney Powell, John Eastman. He was the top constitutional lawyer that was advising Trump on how he could challenge, as well as Jeffrey Clark. Jeffrey Clark was the guy they were trying to get Trump was trying to get put in there after Bill Barr resigned from Attorney General. He's trying to put him as acting Attorney General, and he was convinced otherwise.
I see.
So all these folks, so lawyers that gave Trump legal advice on how to
That's what's
legally
so funny. Wait a minute. The
challenge
lawyers?
an election, they're now co-conspirators. And here's one thing, and I've been on this thread like a drug-sniffing dog for a while.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as, you remember January 6th?
Oh, yeah, I remember very well.
How it went from, my emotions went from this isn't bad. It actually pissed me off because there was a plan. And the plan was to legally challenge the election through the process that is allotted
Right.
and allowed. There
That's
would have
the
been, I wanted to
Constitution.
see the debates on the
Sure.
floor of the Congress. In
You did.
particular,
I did, but the powers that be did not, Joey.
but we didn't get that. So I was pissed off when I started seeing people storm this building. And not necessarily, well, there was a part of me that's like, well, I'm not a fan of destroying things, number one. Especially something beautiful, even if it is full of vice and sin and all that, like the U.S. Capitol. But I'm not a fan of destroying things. I don't think it's productive. It's not wise. And then the internet got a hold of everything, and then it started to become a little funny. Oh, you can't say that. Yes, I can, because it's true. I'm sorry, the guy stealing Nancy Pelosi's podium is a bit comical.
Yeah, that was great.
You can clutch your pearls or whatever, but grow a funny bone or something. And then it went from, oh, I can see the future. As soon as the senators came back on the floor, and they did certify the election. This is why one of the counts is just trying to inhibit or obstruct an official proceeding.
Right.
Because of this riot, you stop the official proceedings from going through. You're violating people's rights to vote by also, seeking remedy, thinking that it was corrupt. And you didn't actually believe it was a stolen or rigged election. You didn't actually believe it, Donnie, did you? But when I saw those senators come back on the floor that day, and they started comparing that day to Pearl Harbor, they started comparing that day to 9/11. The Temple of Liberty has been besmirched or whatever, sullied by this awful day. And what they do in this indictment, and what they've been doing, is saying that riot was the plan all along. Well, maybe it was, but it wasn't Donald Trump's plan.
Thank you.
Right on.
Thank you.
In fact, I think the conspiracy, well, government itself is a conspiracy. It always has been. Some conspiracies just are given legitimacy. 272-9228.
The Aliski, Rules for Radicals, accuse the other side of what you're doing.
Yeah.
I always believe this election was
Well,
stolen.
we talk about Ray Epps and he was
This
the
was
Fed.
all part of the coup.
No doubt. But you remember just a week or two ago that U-Haul truck that ran into the White House? Charges dropped.
Yeah, I saw that.
Fed much?
Well, maybe it was
100%.
Well, maybe he's
Fed.
not a Fed. Maybe they use directed energy weapons. Have you not heard about the
100%
array they have under the ice there in Antarctica?
How can a vehicle that tried, and he even said, I intend on doing harm to the president.
Yes, he did.
How do we have charges dropped?
Well,
Can somebody
because
explain
maybe
to me
he's
that?
just crazy. Maybe it was like he got Havana syndrome.
Maybe we've got the wrong people in.
Yes, I agree with you there.
Maybe it's time for people to stand up. Everybody sees January 6th a little bit different than I do. I know it was rigged up to begin with, but the look on those politicians' face when they came back, even though they were all acting, I enjoyed the fear because they need to fear the people, and they don't.
And on that note,
that's good government.
A very good note, even though it's sort of in a minor key. We'll be right back. Try Mixolydian something.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. A Missouri man who abducted and beat a 6-year-old girl to death 2 decades ago has been executed. Authorities say 45-year-old Johnny Johnson received a lethal injection Tuesday evening at a state prison in Bonterra. He was convicted of killing Kesey Williamson in July of 2002. The gunman who stormed a synagogue in the heart of Pittsburgh's Jewish community and killed 11 worshipers in 2018, sentenced to death. A federal jury recommended that 50-year-old Robert Bowers be sent to death row. Union leaders have told striking Hollywood writers that they plan to meet with representatives for studios. They'll discuss restarting the negotiations. The Dow is down 273 points, the NASDAQ losing 295. This is SRN News.
The following is not an actor, but a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I'm Corey, and this is my story. I was going through some financial troubles paying off my credit cards. I was paying high interest rates, and it just wasn't getting any better. And I knew I had to do something. So my mom told me about Trinity, and so I decided to call. Trinity was able to do something that I couldn't. I'm paying off my debt, I'm saving thousands, and things are really looking up. I promise you guys, you will not regret it when you call Trinity, because it was such a relief and less stress in my life, and it was the best thing I could have done for myself, because once I called Trinity, they took care of me, and I felt such a relief, a weight off my shoulders. Trinity was great to work with. They wanted to help me. I love it.
If you're in debt and you need help, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
I'm Corey, and I'm debt-free for keeps.
1-800-990-6976.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Our hot, dry forecast continues today, and on the horizon, more humidity and the return of random storms soon. Today, with abundant sunshine, high temperature near 96, heat index near or above 100. Tonight, slow down to about 75. Tomorrow and Friday,
Low to mid-90s both days with triple-digit heat indices, scattered random storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. And over the weekend, quite steamy, lots of humidity, more scattered storms, highs in the upper 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE Credit Union, financing your next adventure is easier than ever with rates as low as 5.25%. Apply online or visit your local branch today. Federally insured by the NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender.
ASE Credit Union. Your life, your goals, your ASE.
From WAKA Channel 8, I'm Savannah Sapp. Crime Stoppers in the Stivers Ford family is urging anyone in the community who may have information about a Friday evening shooting to come forward. It happened Friday near Ron Road and Eastern Boulevard. Stivers Ford employee Tristan Bowles reportedly honked at a vehicle who cut him off on the road. That mystery vehicle pulled up beside Tristan and shot into his vehicle. 2 of 8 bullets striking Tristan in the back and head. A combined $12,500 is a reward being offered to anyone with information. Alabama Senator Katie Britt says that she has returned home from the hospital and is recovering after a condition caused sudden numbness in her face. Britt said Monday she had experienced the numbness last weekend and was briefly admitted to a hospital. Doctors said the symptoms were most likely caused by a post-viral infection. For more news, watch WAKA Channel 8 and ABC 32. I'm Savannah Sabb.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
This is Evan Bass from Montgomery Men's Health, and I've been helping men with low testosterone issues for over a decade. I've seen firsthand how low testosterone sneaks up on you, often so slowly that you just get used to all the issues that come along with being low T. If you're experiencing a low sex drive, if your energy just isn't what it used to be, if you're gaining unwanted fat or have issues with muscle gain in the gym, you very well may have low testosterone. At Montgomery Men's Health, we've successfully treated many men for low T, and the results can be life-changing. Many of our patients start putting on muscle again when they work out. They find they have more energy, they sleep better, and their sex lives often improve as well. So make an appointment today and see if low T therapy can make the difference for you. Your first appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult with testosterone lab results in minutes. Call 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com.
Looking for a new career with flexible hours, competitive pay, generous paid time off, and countless benefits? Then visit us at our job fair for the Riverside Marketplace at Wind Creek, Wetumpka, from 2 to 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, August 15th and 22nd, and Thursday, September 7th at the Entertainment Center. Can't make it? No problem. You can also visit our Career Center at Wind Creek, Wetumpka from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Kickstart your new career today.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Good evening. Today, an indictment was unsealed, charging Donald J. Trump with conspiring to defraud the United States, conspiring to disenfranchise voters, and conspiring and attempting to obstruct an official proceeding. The indictment was issued by a grand jury of citizens here in the District of Columbia, and it sets forth the crimes charged in detail. I encourage everyone to read it in full. The attack on our nation's capital on January 6, 2021 was an unprecedented assault on the seat of American democracy. As described in the indictment, it was fueled by lies. Lies by the defendant targeted at obstructing a bedrock function of the U.S. government, the nation's process of collecting, counting, and certifying the results of the presidential election.
everything the deep state has done to me, I will never give up on America. Mark my words, in 2024 we will win back the White House. We will make America great again. I have no doubt about it. They come at me from left, they come at me from right. The rhinos, the communists, the Marxists, the fascists. We will not only survive, we will be stronger than ever before. We're fighting a fight like nobody ever thought possible, and we're winning. We won in 2016. We had a rigged election in 2020, but got more votes than any sitting president. We're going to win like never before.
Welcome back, folks, to News and Views in the afternoon. Jack Smith and then Donald John Trump there responding in part. The Trump campaign also put out a very lengthy statement, and I think it is more scathing than the one we just heard from the president on that video feed. Here is the statement from the Trump campaign. I'll just read it in full. Quote, "This is nothing more than the latest corrupt chapter in the continued pathetic attempt by the Biden crime family and their weaponized Department of Justice to interfere with the 2024 presidential election, in which President Trump is the undisputed frontrunner and leading by substantial margins. But why did they wait 2.5 years to bring these fake charges right in the middle of President Trump's winning campaign for 2024? Why was it announced the day after the big crooked Joe Biden scandal broke out from the halls of Congress? The answer is election interference. The lawlessness of these persecutions of President Trump and his supporters is reminiscent of Nazi Germany in the 1930s, the former Soviet Union, and other authoritarian dictatorial regimes. President Trump has always followed the law and the Constitution and with advice from many highly accomplished attorneys who Jack Smith is calling co-conspirators.
Okay.
These un-American witch hunts will fail. Reading very small text here. And President Trump will be reelected to the White House so he can save our country from the abuse, incompetence, and corruption that is running through the veins of our country at levels never seen before. 3 years ago, we had strong borders, energy independence, no inflation, and a great economy. Well, actually, we were in the middle of COVID, so it was all locked down. Today, we are a nation in decline. President Trump will not be deterred by disgraceful and unprecedented political targeting.
Been that way for 2 years now.
Well, yeah. And I don't think it's going to stop.
I don't either.
Anytime soon.
So, I mean, you would think this guy is, well, I'll say it, you'd think he's a child molester, the way they treat him.
Yeah, or the second coming of, like, Napoleon or something.
And
I mean, maybe even the second coming of Lincoln.
You know, they used to say Abraham Lincoln got the worst press. I said, there's no way he got worse than me.
I just don't, I don't see the things that they see. I think most people don't. And it's dividing our country, no doubt. But what I would love for him to say, you know what, I'm tired of this. I'm tired of the division. I'm going to step away because there's somebody here that can replace me. But I don't see that, Joey. I don't see that. I see a bunch of weak-kneed, weak-jawed individuals that are leading our country down the wrong path right now. And I see one guy that's willing to say, I can do something. And he's got a reputation of being able to do something. You know, I paid $3.50 for gas today. $3.50 a gallon at the Walmarts for gas? Dude, this is something that affects everybody every single day.
Yeah.
And they come out and say that, inflation's down. Of course, they don't count gas.
Right.
But that's something that affects every single person, at least in this state, every 3 days.
Well, that was a big part of John Hanna's point, talking about all the small farmers getting screwed. The prices in, say, livestock and other commodities.
Feed and livestock, especially
the
diesel
fertilizer.
And livestock, right.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, and...
so how can anyone say that we're on the right path? That I just don't get.
Well, it depends on, I guess, what your vision is.
I don't see a good vision of us being on the right path doing what we're doing.
There are some people who believe if you just let the smartest people in the world run everything for you and take care of you from cradle to grave, And really, the only reason you haven't made it in this world and you don't have more opportunity, better health outcomes, or sound family outcomes, all sorts of things, is because society is unfair and unequitable. So we need to create equitable, equal outcomes for folks. It really, I mean, Lennon had it right.
Well, for those folks, man, I got a place at the bottom of the lake that would be great for them to live in. If they want to believe in that kind of BS, then I've got a great place at the bottom of the lake. All you need to hold is this cinder block the whole time, and you'll be fine.
Oh, and I got more today that's going to piss old Eddie off. Before I go, we're going to go to a breakdown analysis of these charges. Judge Napolitano has actually did a great job on these. He has spoken out against conspiracy laws before. I remember when we were talking about that Michigan FBI case. Yeah, he thinks a lot of these conspiracy laws are absurd and meant for political abuse.
They are.
But they're just not up to human rights.
What's a conspiracy?
Though,
Three people that agree to do something?
Though every lawyer I've seen, unless they're like truly in the Trump camp, and so they're giving the arguments Trump's going to give, most lawyers are saying, yeah, even if I don't think these laws are legit, things like the documents case even though I don't think these should even be laws, they are laws, and the DOJ ain't playing. And you mentioned a Washington, D.C. grand jury. That's what Jack Smith mentioned. Did you know that 92.5%, I believe, in 2020, who live in Washington, D.C., 92.5% voted for Joe Biden.
Right.
5% voted for Donald Trump.
So how can you tell me that those are jurors of my peers?
They're not. And it shows why Washington, D.C. is the way it is. And are you shocked that people that work for the government, who pay the mortgage because of the government, hell, who do more than pay a mortgage, who start to build generational wealth because of the government, with 7 out of 10 counties surrounding D.C. being the richest per capita in the nation? Are we shocked at all that the folks who still are getting plenty of gravy in the front of the line from the gravy train are more than happy to put somebody in prison for life, for the rest of his life, because he challenged their power? And he made people skeptical of them. Well, it didn't take Trump to make me skeptical of this government, but I'm happy that he has
he's woke up a lot of other people.
More and more people.
Yeah, no doubt.
But
it's painful, Joey. It's painful to see.
It is. But before we go to the Napolitano breakdown here, how was your what was a physical yesterday?
All went well. I'm still
sore.
Had a great shower afterwards. I'm going to do some follow-up tests for some heart things. But all went well. Glad it's over with.
Did you have to lay on your side?
No. I got a regular doctor.
Any stirrups?
No stirrups involved again, thank goodness. I've got a regular doctor who's a fan of the show. So this is kind of weird.
Oh, really?
Kind of weird. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, he heard I was coming over.
I'm glad that we can share these intimate moments in our lives with the audience. Well, every man's going to have to go through it.
Well, he did remind me. He said, even though we laughed and mocked it, he said, Eddie, you might have had one guy that took you serious and decided to get his prostate checked, and therefore you might have saved one life. I'm good with that.
You're doing God's work.
Trying.
So go get a finger to check your prostate, folks.
And look out, they want to get a colonoscopy.
I'm glad it went well. I'm glad you got a good doctor. And he's definitely a good doctor because he listens to his show.
He's a
Thank
good
you,
doctor.
sir.
But it's Joey, you'll see, it's kind of a funny moment when your doctor knows things that knows just absolutely everything about you at that point. Everything.
This part of the program brought to you by Montgomery Men's Health. And they're at Montgomery Men's Health. Well, they can help you men out if you have, the symptoms of low testosterone. And if you do have low T, there are some common signs. It pretty much has to do with the idea of energy. Like, are you energetic in terms of your physicality? Like, are you feeling strong, like not achy, like rested? Or maybe you're feeling tired mentally, just listless, like you don't have much motivation, much drive, including sex drive, which can be, miserable if you're trying to have a relationship. It really can destroy a relationship if that intimacy is not there. Or it could just be, hey, I want to go through my full day, my busy schedule, whether I'm doing my job or taking care of the kids. I would like to go through the day without feeling dog tired. Well, Montgomery Men's Health can help you with that. For only $99 in about an hour, you can know your testosterone numbers, also your PSA numbers. It's if you're a younger man, great way to check for prostate health.
Yes.
Less intrusive, let's say. But If you do have low T, they have treatments there at Montgomery Men's Health that can truly change your life. Most men after these treatments experience higher energy, better gains in the gym.
Brother.
That's right, brother. Better mental clarity, improved sleep patterns. You might even notice an increased libido.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, Joey.
No, there's a lot right with it. So check out Montgomery Men's Health today. Make an appointment at 440-3663. Again, that number, 440-3663. Or go to MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com and be sure to tell them all you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. How about this? Let's go to Cranky.
Okay.
Hey, Cranky, how you doing?
What's up, Cranky?
Hey. How did the one finger salute go yesterday?
All is well. All is well.
All is well.
Yep.
Hey, are you participating in the new government employees plan, or you still have the cheap plan B?
The cheap plan, believe you me.
Okay. Well, no. I mean, and you know how I know that you had the cheap plan B?
How's that?
Is because when you walked into the examining room and when you said, where do I put my pants, the doctor said right over there next to mine. So there you go. Anyhow. But
glad you waited till
folks,
today to tell me that.
There you go. That's right. You need to get, bone up, no pun intended, bone up and get the good insurance next time. But
I don't think that guy was a doctor.
That's right. That was like, who was that? That's the doctor. No, I don't know. He don't work here. That's never. Dr. Smiley. That was the other one.
Yeah.
All kidding aside, and this still was very close to FCC bounds, but still within. I had to go to Fort Benning one time for an Army physical, and they had a mixture of civilian medical personnel and military doctors. And the turn your head and cough guy was a civilian. His name was Mr. Lively. I swear, strike me dead if I'm not making that up. So, and hey, listen, this was before Don't Ask, Don't Tell. I mean,
right.
No. But anyhow, I hadn't been able to listen. Been trying to earn a coin or two, but I would imagine you've been talking about the another indictment.
Yes, absolutely.
We got him. We get him. We got him. We got him. We're going to get him. Just like we've been saying about Hillary all these years. Oh, we're going to get her. No. It's Charlie Brown and Lucy in the football. I did hear some of Napolitano's analogies yesterday, but I mean, if this isn't gotcha politics, nothing is. This is what they do in third world country banana republics.
Yes.
And when the old guys who just wanted to, just get through life and not be messed with, the old guys who got nothing to lose get involved. They're gonna start something that they're not going to be able to finish, and it's very, very dangerous. But they've pushed it over the red line, and
it makes you wonder where it's going to go. Is it just going to be like a banana republic with a competing lawfare? Can you arrest your opponents? Can you bury them in scandal, accuse them of the worst things under the sun? And that's what's happening right now. That is clearly what's happening right now.
It's gonna go just like Eddie's exam yesterday, up to doodah.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, I'm just hoping we don't go to Grant and Lee, or even further, Marius and Sulla of Rome. For Rome, it was hundreds of years a sort of division and the literal fighting of civil wars, but it's like we're heading to that area. Where have you seen these maps or graphs or like intensity maps? And it'd say in the 70s, it was red and blue.
Oh, yeah.
Democrats and Republicans used to be all intermingled, where you can see that intensity map. Now, as we're sitting in 2023, they don't connect at all.
Nope.
And this is connections of family members, business colleagues, people you work with on campaigns, and it's completely segregated now between right and left in the parties.
And it is absolutely fully polarized in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't any middle of the road anymore.
No, there's not.
Right.
The crap libs erased the middle of the road by just keep pushing and pushing and pushing. You're either all the way on one side or all the way on the other. There is no middle of the road anymore.
Well, here's my hope is that the fight between, say, the professional folks within the Republican Party and the Democrat Party, and how this game of Democrats versus Republicans, it's going to get so toxic and obnoxious that it's going to leave room for somebody to kind of come in and fill in the middle. and do it in a big way. And I don't know if it's going to be Republican or Democrat. Honestly, the idea would be somebody who's kind of purple.
Beats some middle ground in there.
But not purple in that mushy sense, like you're Bill Weld running as a libertarian. It's more, or Gary Johnson, what is Aleppo?
Dude,
like, no, I mean somebody who is brash, who is bold with their vision, who seems competent. I think a person like that could actually win the day out of nowhere.
Well, for those of you, quote, conservatives that call yourselves conservatives, but you know deep down you really aren't, the Katie Roby, Senator Roby voters out there who you haven't heard a damn thing from, you need to remember that. Tuberville, they are vilifying. Oh, he cost us the space for standing up for the rule of law, not for taking a controversial position, because taking a stand for the rule of law is now a controversial position.
Right.
And you look for Tuberville, Coach, if you're listening, I'm not going to degrade you by calling you Senator. Coach, if you're listening, you keep on doing what you're doing, and we're going to be there for you when one of the Soros jacklegs, like our last senator we had, comes. They'll run somebody hardcore and overfund them to run them to try to get him out there, just like they did Joe Arpaio out in Arizona. Joe Arpaio didn't do anything controversial except take a stand for the rule of law, and that's now being vilified, and just completely ignoring what the coward in chief is doing right now. This isn't going to get any better. It's going to come apart at the seams before it gets better, if it gets better, and it's all because they keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing. I'll let you go. Appreciate you picking me up. And Eddie, I'm sorry to make you the butt of a joke, no pun intended.
Thank you, Greggy.
Y'all have a good day.
You too, brother man.
272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by XI Repair. And there at XI Repair, Jonathan Strange and his team, well, they can help you with all sorts of electronics repairs. Say you got a PlayStation 5 and something just
say you spilled your Mountain Dew on it.
Yeah, maybe you did that.
Yep.
Well, you don't have to, if you live in the area, send that off to Sony in the mail. You could actually go by XI Repair. They can work on those top-end gaming consoles, and that's, I think, starting out a $500 system. So you might be a little, careful with it.
Plus, that's a great thing to have as a local resource, somebody like XI Repair.
Well, they can also help you with brand new smartphones they could sell you, and it doesn't have to be the latest model.
Nope.
Like, for instance, I've got the iPhone 13, but I'm still using this iPhone 10 to film, and like the iPhone 10 is still a great device, and you can get it for much less than, say, the 14 or 13
a lot
or 12.
less, Joey.
They've got incredible deals, not just with iPhones, but with Android products, Samsung, I believe, as well.
Yep.
And, of course, they can do basic repairs. So cracked screen, water damage, battery not holding a
port
charge.
Cleanings, things like that.
Maybe you got a dirty port that needs to be cleaned out. They can help you with all that. Maybe you crashed your drone again.
It happens, Joey.
Like Eddie here.
Happens.
XI Repair can fix it. So check them out today. You can always go to xirepair.com, the letter X, the letter I, repair.com, or give them a call at 777-1234. And just be sure to tell those fine folks there at XI Repair that Joey and Eddie from News and Views send you more news and views, well, after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson from the Goodson Group with your Real Estate Minute. If you've ever considered owning rental property, this information is for you. For years, I've been finding attractive investment homes for real estate investors to buy with the intention of renting the property for many years to come. Owning rental property and letting tenants pay the expenses of owning through rental payments to a management company such as ours is what we do very well. We have successfully managed thousands of homes for property owners over the years. Our typical tenant stays stays 3 to 5 years or longer in the same property, and some have stayed over a decade in the same home. During this time, the landlord is building equity and wealth and is providing reasonably priced homes that are well cared for and provided needed shelter and homes to good people. Loyal clients and wonderful tenants that know how to take care of the property both inside and out helps everyone. For a complete packet of what we do, please call Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883. That's 221-2883.
Sweetheart?
Yeah?
Well, I've been thinking, I'm tired of this house.
What? You want to move?
Yeah, but we'd have to do some updating, to get top dollar.
Updating really does make a lot of sense, especially when you're talking about lighting. That's where Crosby Electric comes in. They'll help you choose a stunning pendant fixture over your bathroom sink, dramatic flush mount lighting over your kitchen island, maybe some LED panels to backlight your countertops. Energy-saving LED lighting has really come down in price. Or how about a new ceiling fan that moves air more efficiently than fans built only 10 years ago? The bottom line, updating your lighting almost always delivers a full return on your investment.
Well, sweetheart, the house looks fabulous.
Yeah.
Guess I'll put out the for sale sign.
Wait.
What?
I don't wanna move.
Find out how to turn your house into the home you'll never want to leave. Visit crosbyelectric.com or call 272-2085.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. 272-9228 if you want to get in on the program. Let's go to the phones and talk to Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how you doing?
Hey, on the subject of the prostate,
yeah,
I just recently had it done too. And my for years, mine had been enlarged, and it's actually gone down some. There is a product you need to know about. It's called Prostadine. You can get it at Walmart.com. It's $53 a bottle. It tastes awful. Put it in your coffee, a little sugar, never can taste it. But let me tell you, you go to sleep at night, drink a bottle of water and go to sleep, and sleep all the way through the night.
Well, there you go.
Great stuff. And my PSA went from 7.4 to 4.2.
Oh, fantastic. Wow,
Yeah,
you were
that's
really good.
I highly recommend it.
Yeah. And give the name of that product again.
It's Prostadine. Prostadine. You can get it at Walmart.com. If you go on the website to get it, it's $72 a bottle. If you go on Walmart.com, it's only $53.
All right.
But it's well worth the money.
Well, y'all heard it here. I appreciate it, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff.
But do go to the Prostadine website and watch the man's video. It's
Okay.
very enlightening.
We'll do it.
Very enlightening. All right. Talk to you later.
Thank you, Jeff.
See you, Jeff.
I have a feeling we need to add certain sponsors. It's like certain things, you know, with talk radio, like peanut butter with jelly. You know, like cigars. We need to get a cigar shop. At this point, we don't have a proper sit-down restaurant.
Sure would
right
like
now.
a restaurant.
We got to get one of those.
Love a restaurant.
And maybe we need to start selling prostate medication. It seems a lot of the audience, that's, well, the target or something like that. 272-9228.
They're willing to share other, health news like that.
No,
I think
that's
great.
fantastic. No, this is good. I'm all about men succeeding, women too.
When are you going to get your prostate checked? You're right that age.
I'm 35.
Yeah.
I'll be 35 in December. That's the age?
Actually, I thought it was 50, but when I started, they said it's the 40 is the new age. So that's when I started. So
See,
I
just
be the
did have my
35 is new
PSA
age.
tested.
That's a good
and it was
That's good.
Good. I was low.
Good.
7 something.
I know.
I'm glad it worked out for Jeff.
Yeah,
there.
definitely.
Anyway, let's stop talking about prostates and let's go to Papa B. Hey, Papa B.
What's up, Papa
Well,
B?
just one more thing about prostate.
Damn it.
We're saving lives, Joey.
I slave away all morning to get these clips ready and all this legal analysis ready and read through what's happening international. And y'all just want to talk about doctors checking prostate.
Saving lives, man.
Well, I had that camera deal done, I don't know, several months ago. At least I was sleeping through it, okay? I didn't have to stay awake for the process.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just wondering, though, if I run into my prostate doctor in public, it's going to be kind of an awkward moment, like, oh, hello. Is it going to create any kind of uncomfortable situation just running?
Or did you just
after-
just have a revelation or something?
Okay. We're not going to talk about it anymore, right?
That's what I was trying to
I'm all
do.
about it.
Yeah.
I can't guarantee the next caller, though. So, Jake Smith prances out there like he's done something. Well, I've heard it said that you can indict a ham sandwich.
Yep.
And, you get in there and you can make an indictment of Trump in Washington, D.C. Of course it had to be Washington, D.C. But the whole thing is corruptible. If Durham showed us anything at all, it is like, that the place is a cesspool of corruption. They can't even admit to themselves when they've been caught red-handed lying. They can't, so obviously he's going to get indicted. So Jack Smith hasn't done anything. He's done nothing. So I'm not going to say that it's not hurtful.
Well, and also, Papa B, I think I hear where you're coming from, but I think it is serious in the sense that it was a D.C. grand jury, it was going to indict this, but it would also be a D.C. jury that would hear this.
Right.
And so it might be absurd to many parts of the country, but again, they voted 92% in favor of Joe Biden in 2020. Washington, D.C. did.
Right. So I think that he's rightfully argued that he cannot get a fair
Right.
trial in that.
That is exactly my thought.
I don't think anybody could argue with that.
Well, and I can see a fast, I don't know, I'm not a lawyer. At times like this, I wish I was. But maybe they could fast track an appeal or something about prosecutorial misconduct to the Supreme Court.
Ooh.
Oh, they're going to try. The Trump team will try everything to get it, off track. And it should be off track. It never should happen in the first place.
Agreed.
Because he's not guilty of it. We have the right to call for peaceful assembly, and that's exactly what Donald Trump did in January 6th. But having said that, I also am still, with my OCD brain, stuck on yesterday's comments with Judge Napolitano.
Mm-hmm.
And so, with this whole idea that, that the DOJ has found some, awful, classified documents. And Chris Wray gets out there and he says, well, I just don't think it's right that they were in a bathroom. Well, you know what? Chris Wray has clear guidance from the Supreme Court in that Clinton case where it was according to Clinton, in a stock drawer. And, if it's good enough for the Supreme Court, then guess what, Chris Wray? It's good enough for you, too. How did Chris Wray become the arbiter of something like that over the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court has already. We did this. We've been through this movie already.
Well, but you can't always challenge. Part of the rule of law is that you can challenge the rule. There's a process to actually challenge what the rules may or may not be, and that's the beauty of our system.
Okay.
There is play in the joints. What is so ominous about this latest drop is that you're essentially criminalizing somebody challenging the rules of the system. You're charging lawyers as co-conspirators. In a second, I'm going to play Napolitano's breakdown of this. As part of that breakdown, he says, I've long said these sorts of conspiracy laws should be deemed unconstitutional. A crime isn't committed, and yet you're creating, well, you conspired to commit that crime. And then after that, and this is based on Napolitano's opinion, he says Trump now has probably one of the best defense lawyers in the nation working lead. And so we're going to hear from that guy. He was on Fox News last night. And we'll hear these legal minds are going to have to fight it out. And at the end of the day, what's sad is it's not really the argument. It's more which jury are you in front of?
Right. Let me I'll get this. This is the last thing I'm going to say about it, I promise you. But when they charged Clinton with holding classified documents at his home, it was right after, I believe, he won his second election. And, man, we were trying to hope and praying that we could get something on it. And we finally got something on it. He had classified documents. And the Supreme Court came out and broke everybody's heart. When they did that, every liberal, every Democrat jumped up and cheered and shouted. When the Supreme Court said, no, he can do that, and he can declassify documents, after all, he's not the president. That's the exact words of the ruling. That is the law of the land. Donald Trump can declassify documents. He's the only one person that can do it, according to that rule of law. Now, I guess the Congress can do it, but it literally would take an act of Congress.
Right.
But anyway, that's what I'm going at. You can't prosecute, and the Supreme Court could reverse itself.
Right.
But they still couldn't prosecute him for it because he was operating on the rule of law at that time.
And remember, Jack Smith, a lot of folks who said the documents case is serious are now saying this case he just brought about these conspiracy charges reminds them of how he went after, Bob McDonnell or the governor of Virginia.
Oh, yeah.
That was completely thrown out. Even the liberal justices on the Supreme Court are like, this is a ridiculous prosecution. So we'll see where it goes. Dershowitz was predicting that it'll be thrown out by the Supreme Court. And, we'll have to let it play out. I appreciate it, Papa B.
All right, bud.
272-9228.
What's it take for the world just to leave him alone?
Him to not run. Just give up.
Not going to happen.
Just give up.
If he did, if tomorrow Donald Trump came out and said, you know what? It's just too much. I'm out. I'd be more heartbroken than any time ever before.
And, I think these bastards are so vindictive they'd still go after him.
Oh, there's no doubt. Just to ensure, just to put that nail in the coffin. Yeah.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, to maintain their cult beliefs. Don't you dare challenge us. That is the most unnerving part, that if you come up with a creative way to challenge something, and you're starting to say, hey, legal representation, creative
I can't even represent
arguments.
You. I don't want to go to jail.
Right.
I don't...
There's plenty to this. And we'll, like I said, play the breakdown by Judge Knapp and then Trump's top defense attorney and see what he's laying down. But before we hit the break, this part of the program brought to you by New Look Decorating Center. They're at New Look Decorating. Well, Brett Lanham and that team, they're passionate about what they do.
Very
offering
much so.
that high-quality Benjamin Moore paint and stain supplies. It could be you're looking to do it yourself, or they can give you tips and tricks to do it yourself the right way the first time, saving you time and money.
Definitely.
They might even save your marriage. If you think, I'm the man, I can make the decision on what color to throw down.
It's best to get both parties involved.
Right, it really is. If you're sharing the house, if you're cohabitating, you might want to advise or listen to the wife. You might just want to take marching orders. But they can help you with that there at New Look Decorating Center. And maybe you're interested in wallpaper these days.
That's right.
Wallpaper and fabrics, you need to go see Katie.
Okay.
Katie is the person to go see. Jordan's also a paint specialist. Katie is too. As well as Brett Lanham, Brian Carr, the owner. They can all help you out. And maybe you're looking to contract out the job. The first question you need to ask that painter you're about to hire is, do you buy your paint at New Look? It's a good measure of a painter. 40 years in business, 40-year local institution here in Montgomery. So check them out today. They've been supporting the local community for a long, long time. You can always call New Look Decorating at 271-0007. That's 271-0007. You also can go to newlookdecoratingcenter.com or just, stop by their showroom. That's the best way to work with the whole team. 6237 Atlanta Highway, right here in Montgomery, where Bell Road dead ends to Atlanta Highway. You'll see it there in all its glory. Benjamin Moore's New Look Decorating Center. And be sure to tell them, you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. More News and Views after this.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Are we loco at Marguerite's? Oh, yeah. Yes, we are. We've lost our mind at Marguerite's. We're doing polish, rhodium, and inspection of rings only, till August 5th for no charge. Now, everyone else charges $150 to $300. We charge $65 to $100. But forget about that. Bring in up to 5 rings. Doesn't matter if they're from Marguerite's, not. Doesn't matter if you ever shopped at Marguerite's or not. It's real quiet. There's no small print on this. Just trying to create a little traffic at Marguerite's. Till August 5th. Bring in your old rings. Let us make them look like new.
This is Evan Bass for Montgomery Men's Health, and I've been helping men with low testosterone issues for over a decade. I've seen firsthand how low testosterone sneaks up on you, often so slowly that you just get used to all the issues that come along with being low T. If you're experiencing a low sex drive, if your energy just isn't what it used to be, if you're gaining unwanted fat or have issues with muscle gain in the gym, you very well may have low testosterone. At Montgomery Men's Health, we've successfully treated many men for low T, and the results can be life-changing. Many of our patients start putting on muscle again when they work out. They find they have more energy, they sleep better, and their sex lives often improve as well. So make an appointment today and see if low T therapy can make the difference for you. Your first appointment is only $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult with testosterone lab results in minutes. Call 334-440-3663. That's 334-440-3663 or go to montgomerymenshealth.com.
Attention all DJs, program directors, A&Rs, and record breakers. You are cordially invited to the private listening party for new artists, the Southern Soul Vixen Toy Toy, hosted by The Nest at ASU Stadium, August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. Attention DJs, program directors, A&Rs, and record breakers only. August 14th, 6 to 9 p.m. You are cordially invited to the private listening party hosted by The Nest at the ASU Stadium. RSVP at CEO Bread at facefaxmusic.com or call 205-213-2179 for info. See you there.
Looking for insurance, or maybe you're just not satisfied with your current carrier? How does quality coverage with local service and competitive rates sound to you? The folks at Stark Agency offer just that. Whether you need insurance for your business, car, home, or life, Stark Agency can help. As an independent insurance agency with over 20 of the top insurance carriers, Stark is sure to find the perfect match for you and your loved ones. Visit their site at starkagency.com or give them a call at 334-263-5535 for a quote today.
Are we loco at Marguerite's? Oh, yeah. Yes, we are. We've lost our mind at Marguerite's. We're doing polish, rhodium, and inspection of rings only, till August 5th for no charge. Now, everyone else charges $150 to $300. We charge $65 to $100. But forget about that. Bring in up to 5 rings. Doesn't matter if they're from Marguerite's, not. Doesn't matter if you ever shopped at Marguerite's or not. It's real quiet. There's no small print on this. Just trying to create a little traffic at Marguerite's. Till August 5th. Bring in your old rings. Let us make them look like new.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Alabama Wholesale Lumber. Alabama Wholesale Lumber, the best quality building materials in the river region for decades. From common builds to special orders and local delivery. Call Alabama Wholesale Lumber.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Our hot, dry forecast continues today, and on the horizon, more humidity and the return of random storms soon. Today, with abundant sunshine, high temperature near 96, heat index near or above 100. Tonight, slow down to about 75.
tomorrow and Friday. Low to mid-90s both days with triple-digit heat indices, scattered random storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. And over the weekend, quite steamy, lots of humidity, more scattered storms, highs in the upper 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has a long history of stability and a legacy of serving our community's needs for generations. Since we began in 1906, at CB&S Bank, we're here for you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
Do you have a cell phone or tablet that isn't charging, dying fast, or maybe the screen is damaged? Don't get suckered into buying a new one. XI Repair can fix your current device same day and in under 30 minutes. Their certified technicians fix and recover data from thousands of cell phones, computers, tablets, game consoles, and drones 7 days a week. Give them a call today at 334-777-1234 or visit them online at xirepair.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368. An equal housing lender.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the house.
How you doing, buddy?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing all right.
And we got Michael Cohen of Cohen's Electronics and Appliances on the phone line. Hey, Michael, how are you this afternoon?
Hey, Joey. Hey, Eddie.
How you doing, Michael?
We're doing good.
Now, I was just looking at thinkcohens.com, and it's been a little while since we've discussed sort of the home automation options and home security options you have there at Cohen's. Let's remind folks.
All right. Well, to start off with, we have the Ring doorbell, and we also have a Nest doorbell. Very similar units. They both can replace your doorbell that you've had on your house for the last 5 or 10 or 20 years. They give you the ability with a smartphone where you can view who's at the front door. You can also communicate with them. So if you're in the back or even not at home, you can tell them to leave or leave the package, and you'll be there in a little bit, or come around back. Whatever you need to tell them. Both of the companies also make cameras that you can mount around the home. They make cameras for inside the home. They make cameras for outside the home. Everything is really designed to work with Wi-Fi. So you do need to have a good Wi-Fi system so that the cameras can communicate through the Wi-Fi to your smartphone.
Well, and isn't it true that having just this little bit of deterrence it really can keep folks from wanting to mess with your home?
I think so. I think there's an element that just really doesn't care. But I think if you're just trying to keep good people honest, I think it is a tremendous deterrent.
Well, and the great products there. I like the Ring. I'm personally partial to that. But the other ones I've been looking at looks like a fantastic system. And, of course, y'all can do the usual help install it, help set it up.
Well, a lot of our customers do their own installs because these are kind of a do-it-yourself. In the event that you don't want to mess with it or you think it's over your pay grade, you can always call up. We'll send out Michael Jacks, and he'll get you taken care of.
I like that, fella. So, folks, you can always call 277-8890. That's 277-8890. Or go to thinkcohens.com or just stop by the Boulevard there at 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell them you heard Michael Cohen himself here on the radio on News and Views.
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate you, Michael.
See you, Michael.
272-9228. Now, as promised, let's initially go to this breakdown here. This is Judge Andrew Napolitano, as regular guest on the program here. But he is going to lay out just the kind of simple breakdown. He actually had 20, 30 minutes on this last night. But this is sort of your baseline breakdown of what these charges are. Let's listen into the judge.
What is the former president charged with? So there's 4 crimes here. 3 are crimes of conspiracy. 1 is a crime that the government says actually took place. What is a conspiracy? conspiracy is an agreement by two or more people to achieve a criminal end, to commit a crime. But because they did not succeed in committing the crime, the charge is conspiracy, the agreement. The idea of conspirators meeting in a dark room with a bare light bulb over them and making notes on their conspiracy is just from Hollywood. In reality, conspirators don't always meet together. They don't even always know each other. They just have a common purpose and feed common information to them. And then at least one of them takes at least one step in furtherance of the conspiracy. I myself, when I was on the bench, as a legal scholar, as a professor of law, as a commentator on Fox News, have argued against conspiracy crimes. I think they're profoundly unconstitutional because they punish thought. The most famous, simple attack on conspiracy is from Clarence Darrow summing up to a jury. Now, this is 150 years ago, so the dollar figures are quite different. He says to the jury, if a boy steals a dime, he's not going to go to the penitentiary. A small fine will do. But if two boys conspire, agree to steal a dime, and then don't steal it, they are candidates for the penitentiary. What kind of a country does this? He asks the jury. One of the jurors shouts back, ours. At that point, he knew he was going to get an acquittal. But he's quite correct, because the conspirators are those who agreed to commit a crime, but for a variety of reasons didn't succeed in committing it. So they're basically being punished for their agreements, for their thoughts. That's three of the charges against Donald Trump. What are they? The first is conspiracy to defraud the United States, to deny the United States the benefit of its presidential election. The second is conspiracy to obstruct a congressional function, that is, an agreement intended, if it had carried out, to prevent the Congress from counting the electoral votes. The third is a conspiracy against the right to vote. That is a conspiracy against all the voters in the states that the Trump people had targeted: Arizona, Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania. The fourth charge against him is obstruction of justice, actually preventing the counting of the votes, which, because of the mob on the floor of the House of Representatives, where the House and the Senate were meeting in joint session, presided over by the Vice President, Mike Pence, they were forced to flee the Capitol building. So that is conspiracy as well as an accomplished crime, obstructing a governmental function. Of course, the governmental function was eventually performed later that night. After the building had been cleared, the Congress came back into the House chamber. They met, they counted the electoral votes. Mike Pence did the actual counting, and the vote on the floor was to accept the election of Joe Biden. At that point, he was, for the first time, officially, legally, and constitutionally proclaimed the president-elect of the United States. So why does the government charge a variety of different crimes, and why these thought crimes? Well, the thought crimes are easier to prove because the government does not have to prove harm. Normally, the government has to prove harm. Like in the obstruction charge, the harm is that members of Congress were fearful of their own safety. So they were actually harmed. The government's process was delayed. It took more time and cost more money to count the ballots. That's the harm there. But conspiracy charges do not require the government to prove harm. It only needs to prove the agreement and at least one step taken in furtherance of the agreement by at least one of the conspirators.
And folks, if you think this is a whole lot of BS, listen to you were hearing that last part he was talking about, right, Eddie?
Yeah.
Where essentially you don't have to prove harms. And even though these laws, many consider them unconstitutional and absurd, do you think a D.C. jury would convict Trump on that if that's the standard?
I don't have any faith that they wouldn't.
Right.
I mean, I don't.
Right, and it makes a mockery of the substantive due process. It makes a mockery of the deliberative process. It makes a mockery of the idea that you have the right to challenge and have your moment. And in a second, we're going to get to Trump's defense attorney. He says political speech has an almost absolute protection under the First Amendment. I think this case is very quickly going to be thrown to the Supreme Court, and they're going to have to make a decision. What a time. What a time. It's what I was saying to Jeff Poore this morning on his program, that in a way, we have no clue what 2024 is going to look like.
Nope.
And so that's one part ominous, or I'm a little scared, or apprehensive maybe.
Apprehensive.
But then it's one part thrilling, ain't it? Like, relish the fight. Relish these times you live in and try to live your best self. Don't give in to the hatred and the resentment. It's going around on the right and the left in all walks of life. It's going to probably suck, but I think America has gone through much worse.
It has.
And we'll get through this as well. 272-9228. This entire hour, second hour, brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and her team, well, they can help you with buying a home.
They sure can.
Great folks to walk you through that home buying process if it's your first rodeo.
But especially if you're VA.
Oh, yeah.
They're the
best deal in town?
That's right. And they are the experts on VA loans.
Really?
Yep. And VA refinancing up to 100%.
You mean I can't just go to some fly-by-night company and get the details on the latest VA home loan program?
Well, you could go by there, but no, you would not get the latest details.
Right.
They would be going through their paperwork going, Right.
Not Kim and Madeline.
Right. Why do that when you've got Kim and Madeline?
Right. And refinancing, if you're a veteran, it's a great deal. Up to 100% of your home's value?
That's right.
Wow. So if you got credit card debts, or maybe you want to consolidate debt, or just reinvest in yourself, your family, it's a great way to do it. So check them out today. They will have earned people's trust over the years, and they've done it, well, by delivering the goods. You can always call them at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or visit them on the web. Apply online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies. Let Kim and Madeline prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. Final hour of news and views when we come back. We'll have the Trump defense attorney.
Okay.
As well as plenty of other crazy crap going on in this world. It's not just about, well, the Trump indictment, though. That's hogging up the airwaves. We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm John Scott. Rain on Tuesday helped firefighters fighting a massive blaze that swept through the California desert into Nevada. The York Fire is reported to be 30% contained now. It's California's largest fire this year. The UAW will present economic demands to General Motors, Ford, and Stellantis this week. Newly elected Chief Sean Fain says companies are making big profits and they can afford to pay up. Some of those demands by the UAW, double-digit pay raises and restoration of cost-of-pay living. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau and his wife Sophie say they're separating after 18 years of marriage. The Dow is down 312 points, the Nasdaq losing 277. This is SRN News.
Attention, your money is now controlled by the U.S. government.
Picture a world where your every purchase is monitored, tracked, and controlled by those in power to suppress the freedoms of those they see fit. Hi, my name is Jason Hansen. I'm a former CIA officer and New York Times bestselling author. And right now, I've become very focused on the impending rollout of the central bank digital currency. This is not a work of fiction. It's a terrifying reality looming on the horizon. But there is a bit of good news. I've partnered with Advantage Gold to offer you a solution. They are specialists in converting your traditional assets, like those inside an IRA or 401k, into tangible assets such as physical gold and silver. Don't allow your money to be controlled. Claim your free gold protection kit from Advantage Gold. Call 800-900-8000, 800-900-8000. That's 800-900-8000.
Advantage Gold is not an investment advisor or a tax advisor.
Call 800-900-8000.
Rich Thomas weather brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. Truckers, if you are looking for green grass, contact Wiley Sanders Truck Lines. In business since 1959 and still growing. Call today, 855-777-9785.
Rich Thomas weather.
Our hot, dry forecast continues today, and on the horizon, more humidity and the return of random storms soon. Today, with abundant sunshine, high temperature near 96, heat index near or above 100. Tonight's low down to about 75. Tomorrow and Friday, low to mid-90s both days with triple-digit heat indices, scattered random storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. And over the weekend, quite steamy, lots of humidity, more scattered storms, highs in the upper 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors & More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors & More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
1819 News.
Alabama's congressional delegation are reacting to the third indictment of Donald Trump, which happened just days before he arrives in Alabama for a Republican dinner. Congressman Gary Palmer says this latest indictment from prosecutor Jack Smith is an even greater stretch of the law in an effort to destroy Donald Trump. Palmer says this is an effort to criminalize Donald Trump's First Amendment rights within political speech. Congressman Barry Moore says that after 3 sham indictments against Trump, it's beginning to feel like Groundhog Day. And Congressman Jerry Carl simply tweeted out, "Broken justice system." I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Are you enjoying 1819 News? If so, consider joining 1819 News as a member. As a nonprofit news organization, we depend on the support of Alabamians like you. Memberships start out as little as $5 a month, and you'll get access to exclusive content only offered to our members. You'll be supporting independent journalism done by people who cherish Alabama values. Become a member today by visiting 1819news.com and clicking Become a Member. That's 1819news.com and click Become a Member today.
A grandmother in Mobile had to be hospitalized after an accidental shooting. Authorities say that the 4-year-old granddaughter of the woman was playing with the grandmother's purse and found the grandmother's handgun inside. The little girl then shot the gun, hitting her grandmother in the leg. The two were shopping at a thrift store in Mobile. Emergency responders were called immediately, taking the woman to the hospital. The medical condition of the woman is not yet fully known. The city of Vestavia has lost their longtime police chief. Danny Rary served in that police department for 42 years and became police chief back in 2011. The death of Rary was announced this past Tuesday. No further comments on the cause of death were issued. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Looking for a new career with flexible hours, competitive pay, generous paid time off, and countless benefits? Then visit us at our job fair for the Riverside Marketplace at Wind Creek, Wetumpka from 2 to 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, August 15th and 22nd, and Thursday, September 7th at the Entertainment Center. Can't make it? No problem. You can also visit our Career Center at Wind Creek, Wetumpka from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Monday through Friday. Kickstart your new career today.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way, offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
To News and Views in the afternoon. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Eddie Bader in the studio with me.
How you doing, buddy?
How you doing?
Lots of stuff going on in the real estate world.
Hey, you look very smart today.
Well, I'm trying to get used to these glasses again. It's tough getting old, Joe. It sucks.
Wait, did you never wear any corrective lenses your whole life?
Nope. I had glasses, and then somebody mocked me when I was young, and I never had glasses again.
You ever looked into LASIK?
No. I honestly have not.
You should.
That might be, at this point, yeah, I don't like glasses. I don't like this looking down and up and over.
I mean, they
and all
still,
that.
even with LASIK, can't solve that hole unless something's changed. You're just getting old.
Can they make me prettier?
No. That's going to take a lot of surgeries. And at best, we're going to make you look like a weird, stretched out Ken doll.
Oh, like Madonna? Oof.
Oh.
What in the world, man?
Oh, some of these folks need to. There is this idea. We've talked about this before, where women who are getting older lean into that and age gracefully. So there are plenty of beautiful women.
I agree,
but they're not trying to pretend like they're 30 or 20 or something.
When they're getting that face pulled back and stapled and all that, they always look surprised, and then they always seem to be disappointed with the outcome. Well, why did you get it to begin with?
But as she said, we're living in a material world.
Yeah.
I am a material girl.
Yes, you are.
Or boy or something like that.
I'll go with the girl.
So, as promised, here is the top defense attorney for Donald John Trump. He is going to lay out, what Trump's case might be. And I think this is the best way to go about it, Eddie, is actually to go to the CNN clip. He did some friendly Fox interviews, but this is with actually a native of Prattville, Caitlin Collins.
Oh, okay, from Prattville, yeah, that's our girl.
She interviews this fella. Let's listen in together. He said,
you talk about free speech. Jack Smith noted Trump's right to free speech and to contest the election results, but what he says in this indictment is that when that did not work, the defendant, your client, pursued unlawful means of discounting legitimate votes and subverting the election results, and that is why he is being charged here, not because of anything related to free speech.
Yeah, but that's factually inaccurate, because the ultimate request that Mr. Trump made to Vice President Pence was pause the vote counting, allow the states to weigh in ultimately and audit or recertify. And under Article 2, Section 1, Clause 2, the actual responsibility for qualifying electors is in the state legislatures. Mr. Trump had the advice of counsel, Mr. Eastman, who was one of the most respected constitutional scholars in the United States, giving him advice and guidance. That's pure politics. You may disagree with it, and people have spirited arguments about the law all the time, and that's why lawyers are in business. But we've never had a situation where a spirited debate about the Constitution has become a criminal case. What's going to happen when there's a Republican administration? Is there going to be an effort to criminalize speech by Democrats? Is there going to be an effort to characterize something that a Democrat politician says that's not that doesn't meet some kind of truth standard at the Department of Justice? That's going to be the subject of a criminal indictment? We've now entered a constitutional abyss as a result of this indictment.
But, John, I should note that you're saying that he was just asking him to send them back. No, I was just talking to the chief of staff who was with Pence that day. He said he was being asked to do something illegal that Pence did not have the right to do, to reject them. And you mentioned the attorneys there that you say, John Eastman, he's a co-conspirator in this indictment. I should note, in the indictment lists all of the people who told Trump that his claims about election fraud weren't true, including the vice president, senior Justice Department leaders, the Director of National Intelligence, CISA, which of course is in charge of making sure elections in the U.S. are secure, senior White House attorneys, campaign staffers, state legislators that you just mentioned there, and the courts.
Right. What was not true? That there were states where ballots were sent out without people asking for them, where there were changes in verification, where there were instances where ballots were not being supervised at drop-off places. The president was told, given advice, that under these circumstances, the state legislatures have the ultimate ability to qualify electors. He followed that advice. Now, you may disagree as to whether or not those things actually occurred or not. That's why we have political debate. We don't have criminal trials over that. We have the discussion like we're just having.
But it matters if those things actually occurred or not, John.
Not under the First Amendment.
It matters if those things actually occurred because...
Not at all, because under the First Amendment...
It does matter if there was actually fraud.
No.
Wow. I mean, we're going to keep going with this, but what do you think of this guy so far?
I wouldn't want to be in a spot.
Oh, of course. But I'd imagine he's in that spot for a reason.
Yeah.
He seems pretty seasoned, and he's holding his own in this conversation.
Right. I mean, and that's...
He's making the exact point I would make.
He's making the point. It's just... It's like making the point to that wall, Joey. The wall just ain't going to get it.
But that's what's the beauty of this point. He's like, I know it's like I'm talking to a wall, but the wall is not allowed to smash me and fall over on me because it doesn't want to hear what I have to say if you claim to want to live in a free country.
I agree.
And part of freedom, in fact, I think actually the only practical way freedom breathes in this world is not by putting words on paper. It's not by passing laws or passing constitutions, for that matter. The genius of a lot of our founders, Hamilton would probably be the one that gets this, is that, yeah, you're always going to have corruption, and you've got to pit corrupt interest against corrupt interest. Liberty breathes when there is that competition, and you have a juridical defense, judicial defense. I can go and challenge the rules of law to improve upon the rule of law. And I have a process to do it. What seems very clear to me is they're acting like the riot was always the plan. And this is how we started the show.
Right.
It wasn't always the plan. In fact, there are a lot of people who knew what the plan was to legally challenge it. What, are they going to add senators as co-conspirators? They might.
Why are you giving them ideas?
Let's continue on with this.
No, the First Amendment allows...
But John, let me stop you there, because if he's saying that there was fraud, the First Amendment doesn't allow the President of the United States to go and claim there was fraud when he was told there was not fraud and then try to subvert the election by overturning legitimate electors. I mean, it says it right here in the actual indictment.
Absolutely. The First Amendment protects all speech. If we're going to have a situation where the Department of Justice is going to fact-check politicians and indict politicians for political speech and whether or not they're factually accurate, then this country will shut down politically, because it's a never-ending cycle of tit for tat. And that's the risk of injecting politics into the criminal justice system. So right now, people disagree with President Trump. What's going to happen 4 years from now if somebody disagrees with President Biden in terms of what he said during the election? That's why we don't criminalize political speech. Political speech under the First Amendment has an almost absolute protection. Nobody gets to judge whether it's true or not, except the American people. And we do that in an election. We do that in an election. We do that in the case of a president by impeachment, but we don't indict people for speech.
I got to stop you there. But Trump is not being indicted for lying here. He is being indicted for using unlawful means of discounting legitimate votes and trying to subvert the election results.
Well, what's the unlawful means? There was an effort to get alternate electors.
He was trying to overturn
which is a protocol
fake electors who were not legitimate.
That was used in 1960 by John Kennedy. And it was a protocol that was constitutionally accepted.
Yep.
So there's nothing wrong about that. In fact, in the indictment itself, it doesn't allege that there was anything wrong. And the final ask that Mr. Trump made to Vice President Pence was simply pause the voting. There's nothing inherently unconstitutional or illegal about that. In fact, he had an opinion from a very well-known constitutional scholar that said that's fine, that's legal. Mr. Trump is not a lawyer. He's a businessman.
His own attorney general and officials said that was not fine, that was certainly illegal that he was asking. And they weren't just asking for a pause. He was asking to overturn the legitimate results. But John, let me ask you, because you're running point on this. Is Trump going to show up in person?
He was
John,
asked. He was
let me
asked.
ask you
Let me
this.
just
Is
finish
Trump
that.
going
He
to show
was
up in
asked to
person for his
pause.
arraignment on
That's
Thursday?
That's up to the court. You know, the court makes those decisions. So we're prepared to follow whatever the court rules are.
John,
the judge issued a summons, and he will appear either virtually or in person.
And we'll leave it there. That guy held his own quite well. And it's great, actually. You know, Caitlin Collins is probably smarter than the average bear. But, like, you don't get that corporate gig without, you know, being of somewhat intelligent level. But it's great seeing a mind like that is a little bit above average. Yeah, I'd call myself that. I'm a little above average. I'm not some genius or anything. I'm good with words, I suppose. But to get into a mind like you just saw from this guy, like the people that can go toe-to-toe, some of these top-notch lawyers we have in this country, I mean, they could be scumbags, but they're wicked smart, if I could use that term.
Sure.
And it's refreshing sometimes to see that go head-to-head with a TV news anchor.
Well, she's also wicked smart.
I don't know about
She's
that.
TV's news anchor.
Yeah, I don't know about wicked smart. How do you like them apples? 272-9228. This part of the program brought to you by, well, Pest Pro Services. And they're at Pest Pro Services. Ashley and her team, well, they can help you with any of those pest control problems you might have. Our advice here, though, on News and Views is to make them your everyday pest control company. That's exactly what Eddie Bader did.
Yep,
and he did it many years ago before we were even doing things on the radio.
Works for me, man. They take care of all my rental properties, which, again, is great because I don't have to worry about it, Joe.
Right. And maybe if you've already got a problem, well, they can help you with that. Mosquitoes bedeviling your backyard, your front porch.
No fun.
Maybe you have termites that have already hit your property.
Aye.
Well, that's no fun at all. Or it could be a huge wasp nest in your attic. Who knows what it is?
Yeah.
Pest Pro Services can help you. So check them out today. You can always call them at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. Or go to ppsriverregion.com or just search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces. When you want to know, call a pro. Pest
right.
Pro Services. And be sure to tell Ashley and that great team there, when are they going to come in?
I believe Zach was looking. I've got to tell him when our next date is available because Zach wants to come hang out.
And Hayden doesn't want to show up because he's shy.
Yeah, but we're gonna trick him into that. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but be sure to tell that great team that Joey and Eddie from News and Views in the Afternoon sent you. What is? Can I have a moment here?
I guess.
Is it because of the internet that people have become so damn impatient?
So young, so impatient.
If you want to get on, and it's only going to get worse as the year goes on, folks. If you want to get on the show, be patient. We'll get to you. Let's go to, well, Duke is up first. Hey, Duke.
Hey, Duke, what's up, buddy?
I'm glad I didn't hang up.
I'm glad he didn't hang up either.
I'm telling you, he just, you know. You all right, Joey?
Am I all right?
Yeah.
Why are you asking? What? You and St. James, it's like, y'all don't seem to know me at all.
Oh, I know you now.
Oh, I know you. Okay. What, are you spying on me through the blinds?
I sure am.
Oh, crap. Okay. I need to call my lawyer.
Call him, hell, I look peek through here, too.
and my priest uncle. I'm going to need all the help I can get.
All these lawyers spend all these lawyers making good money. You go to lawyer. I need to be a lawyer for a little while to help Trump out.
You do like to argue. I'll give you that. You do like to argue.
All this doggone money. Yes, sir. Oh, yeah, I love to argue, boy. All right. I had a rough night last night.
What happened, buddy?
Joey.
What happened?
Man, I saw the thing on the TV. I had my volume down because I listened to a little music, and they said Trump in trouble again. That's starting to bother me. I mean, you know, what can we do to help this situation here? I mean, this is trouble. This is troubled man right here, and you guys are not helping him by cheering him on the way you guys are.
I think we are helping him by cheering him on. Tell him to stand up to the man.
No, y'all cheering
stand
him
up to the BS.
All the videos I've seen him saying these things himself. Now, and in Georgia, he said these things in Georgia. Okay?
Yeah, and it's not illegal to do any of that.
Right. Free speech. The last time
Democrats
I checked.
Democrats have anything to do with that, though. This Republican Georgia state.
It's not illegal to challenge the election.
I understand that. Okay.
It's not illegal to think the United States government is illegitimate. It barely, hardly holds up to its ideals and values.
True.
I understand all those things. I understand those. I understood all those things. But at the end of the day, we all heard my good buddy Donnie from Queens talk about these things on air, on TV, everywhere.
But it still doesn't change the fact he hasn't broken the law by talking about it. You're allowed to talk about these things.
Well, I understand that. But
then what's the problem?
Some of the stuff I've seen, I ain't talking about all of it. I'm not following all of it. It's so much now I can't filter it all out to see what and what. But at the end of the day, most of us seen things that he said himself. Okay? So you can determine whether he lied or told the truth. Okay? But don't try to tell people who disagree with him that they are wrong. That's just my opinion. But I'm hearing a lot of that lately. People telling other folks that, hey, y'all need to leave him alone. Yeah, they're leaving Biden's son alone.
Why should they leave him alone? Are you kidding me? Are you trying to defend Biden's kid?
Oh, no.
This would be really good, Duke. I don't know if we got enough time, but I'd love to hear the defense of that.
No, I'm not taking it. I use him for an example. What's going on? We paying people to lock people on both sides for some reason. They're not getting the job done that we sending them up there to do right now. I mean, Trump get back in the White House, what are he going to do? Go after all his enemies? I mean, both sides doing the same things, you know.
Yeah, it's almost like we've forgotten the principle of liberty, and it's all just about who controls the power.
Well, you know, any of these people we elected had on their campaign platforms that they're going to go lock somebody up. That's all they're doing. They're trying to lock somebody up. What you say?
Well, I think in Trump's platform originally, they did start that chant with lock them up. But then I believe towards the end, he said, as long as nobody messes with me, I won't mess with it.
Yeah, he decided very early on not to pursue Clinton.
Right.
For a lot of the reasons people are saying, don't pursue this with Trump.
Right, exactly. So he thought, maybe I shouldn't put the country through this. But now we got this jackass in there that's doing anything to stay in power. And he's willing to rip the country apart.
I wish the man luck on all this stuff right here. But what I'm saying now for our president now, you know, is he setting an example for your child that you praise and love so much and say you love God and teaching these children to love God? And he's a great example.
He's a great example of stand up for what you believe in.
Is either one of them Biden or
no.
Trump?
And folks, Duke, you're bringing up this point in my mind, where folks act like the Democratic Party and the Republican Party are equally strong. They're not.
Equal to the same, full of boo-boo.
Well, but which party controls the nation's capital? Which party staffs government? Which party controls Washington, D.C.? The Democrats. Yeah.
Old white man on both sides.
Oh, no, don't get me started on how there are a lot of problems within if you're a Democrat, an everyday person, I'm sure you got a huge beef with the leadership of the Democrats. But here's my point, that I'm not that scared about the Republicans taking out Hunter or Joe. It won't be the Republicans that take out Hunter or Joe. It'll be the people that run the Democratic Party and run this federal government. The same thing with Donald Trump. It won't be the Republicans that take out Trump. It'll be this administrative state. It shouldn't be the way it's done.
But right now, all we getting for our money is you know, people going after Trump. Okay, then the other side saying you didn't go after him. You know, just like little kids. We seeing a big kid show right now in our nation. Okay, in our country. Okay, that's all we see in a big old hell. What do you want to call it? Lifetime movie? The fourth series or something?
Oh, I think it's something more like Hell in a Cell. Yeah, like WrestleMania, brother.
You know, hell, go and lock them all up, hell, to get it out of the way and just go take care of the business of the country. How about that?
Yeah, and then we'll go fishing.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, I know you've been working on that property. We'll go fishing or something. We'll lock them all up, and then we'll go hang out on the pond.
You know,
or
let
something.
them go to a strip bar, whatever they want to go hang out for 6 months or whatever, whatever they want to do to, you know, to get their little, you know, satisfaction, you know.
It's like that scene in Billy Madison. No, Billy boy, not today. None of your gibberish today. We should say that to all political people. Could you just stop for 6 months? Take a vacation.
Oh, Herbert.
Myself included, I'd love to take a 6-month vacation, but we're in this. I got to run, Duke.
I hadn't been watching this stuff lately, but like I said, when I turned the TV on last night, first thing in my face, this stuff here.
It's only going to get crazier, but I appreciate it, Duke. I got to run.
All right.
Hey, buddy.
But I just want to reiterate a point I always do before Election Day, and you'll probably hear me say this a few more times going forward. You know, there are going to be people that do politics all the live long day. And if you're Team Republican or Team Democrat, Team Red or Team Blue, and especially if you're making a living off it or you just feel passionate about it, God love you, you go fight the good fight. But I would say to the average person who is maybe not that political, has never gone to a party function, you're not raising a bunch of money for candidates, you're not in the media talking about it every day, all day, you're not constantly looking at the news cycle, you more check in when things start to get more important. Well, I'll just say, try to keep your wits about you. Try this thing they call detachment.
Detachment.
Yeah, it's not. Don't detach yourself from what's important. There are a lot of stakes right now. There are a lot of important things at stake.
Okay.
But try to detach yourself from the show that Duke was just talking about.
But that's the entertaining part there, Joe.
Well, and that's what I mean. Be entertained by it.
Okay.
Lean into how crazy this time is and try to look on the bright side of life.
Oh, boy.
Now I'm just sounding like Monty Python is up there on the... Well,
but I got where you're going with it.
Yeah. Let's try to enjoy the fun. 272-9228. We'll be right back after this.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hey, we're talking to Tammy. Tammy, why does everybody loves Mama's Produce?
Goodness, there's a whole lot of reasons to love Mama's Produce. We got ice cream. Man, have we got some fresh peas. We've got fresh limas. We've got watermelons, tomatoes. There's a whole lot of reasons to love Mama's.
And Tammy, I understand you got some fantastic watermelons.
Actually, right now I've got in some yellow meat, some sugar babies, some seedless, and I've got some Jubilees that just came in.
And of course, Tammy, you keep everybody up to date on your Facebook page.
We try to stay engaged on Facebook, and if I don't answer you on Facebook or Messenger, I'll sit down at the end of the day and go through them.
Tammy, that sounds good. Now tell us where you are.
We're at 1154 South Memorial Drive in Prattville. It's about a half a mile south of the Midtown McDonald's, attached to Prattville Farm Center and right across from Pick Enterprise. Yep, we close at 5:30 Monday through Friday and Saturday at 2.
Everybody loves Mama's.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. We call this little show here News and Views in the Afternoon. Eddie Bader's here in the studio. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. A lot better now, Joey.
Yeah, because surprise visit from the one, the only Jack Campbell.
How you doing?
Doing all right. How you doing?
I'm okay, thank you, I guess. I'm not Trump, so I'm okay.
Yeah, you're doing all right. You're staying out of jail then.
Good to see you, man.
You too.
If I'd known you were coming, we would have found another camera and thrown you on the stream.
Yeah, I'm fine. Just like this.
So what do you think of this?
You know what I think.
Right.
Well,
crap.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Crap.
Steaming pile of it?
No, really.
Right.
Messy.
I mean, but do you think you'd ever see the day where
No.
they're criminalizing this?
No,
sort of thing?
I would not, ever.
Right.
Kennedy did.
Right.
Right.
Right, but that's just that was the good times, right?
Apparently, yeah, but you should call Data on the phone, give him to serve Illinois.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's how we won.
That's right.
And
Hunter Biden, look at that BS artist.
Right.
Yeah.
And the father, $5 million.
Right.
What the hell?
Like Joey said, it's about a father's love.
Oh, yeah, that's the defense now. Well, and it don't sit me up a wall. You know what happened in my life, and it's the one thing I have in common with Biden. His son died of the same brain cancer as my mother died from.
Right.
And it wasn't Biden himself who did this, thank God, but it was Dan Goldman, that guy who was the impeachment lawyer for the Democrats. Remember the perfect phone call?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he's now a congressman from New York. And Goldman is on Morning Joe, and they're going into this like, well, the reason Hunter would call Joe on the speakerphone so often is that was the time when Bo was battling that cancer. And that, like, is there nothing sacred?
Right.
No, not in this group.
Exploiting that illness.
Just.
Right.
I know.
Yeah, I let it all out yesterday. I had to watch myself. But I think Devin Archer said that a lot of the Chinese folks, what's the line? What did he say?
I did not get to read it or hear it.
Yeah, they said something like the Chinese liked working with like a strong Aryan man. I was like, what the hell does that mean? I have heard that the Chinese are, Chinese tycoon loved my last name, Biden. Chinese tycoon loved my last name and Aryan godlike men. The heck is that? Now, I've heard that the Chinese will hire white actors to play doctors to go to medical conferences because the white doctor in China, I don't know if it's changed since, Trump started calling it China, but they would hire them because they apparently gave more prestige and gravitas to their hearing. So maybe that's true. But yeah, this is straight up corruption. And the idea that on a misdemeanor tax charge and a gun charge, which are ticky-tack things, I don't think they're going for low-hanging fruit to give him immunity on all the big stuff.
I know.
Like, that's crap. Like, I don't think he should be charged with, like, a gun thing or all that. Like, who cares? Pay back the taxes, man. That's not the stuff we care about at the end of the day.
Manafort went to jail. What, Manafort?
Manafort went, for the FARA thing. It's what
Same thing.
They threatened Michael Flynn and Flynn's son with. The Foreign Agents Registration Act. Yeah.
Yep.
It's, them's the breaks. It really is. It's a corrupt government. And it's not just corrupt in like, somebody's making money off their name.
People are going to go right into the streets.
Right.
Including me.
Really?
Yes. I mean,
I didn't think you'd be raising hell like that.
You know what I mean, Joey?
I know.
I thought you knew.
No, it's just, am I wrong, though, that we should try to enjoy this crazy time? Like, let's not just be doom and gloom, that actually have some hope. And you're not alone if you feel like this is crap, if you feel like this is a illegitimate move by this government, that they're weaponizing the government, they're trying to criminalize political speech.
I know, that's a whole thing right there.
You have to know, you're not alone. There are a lot of people who agree with you. And they can try to shut everybody up and shame everybody and put everybody in jail.
That's what they're doing.
FBI needs to dismantle.
Yes, they do.
100%.
Well, and actually, in a second, did you see DeSantis, his statement, which is, in my humble opinion, weak sauce.
Okay.
Something I could pull it up. Something to the effect of, if I'm in D.C., I will end the weaponization of government. I'll, on day one, fire the FBI director. Like, what's that going to do?
So what?
It's a hydra. It'll just grow another head or two. So the guy who caught my eye yesterday, of all the other presidential candidates, earlier we played Trump and Trump's response. And
Pence.
Did you see? I didn't see Pence's response.
Oh, my God.
But Pence is in there in the indictment, like cited 100 times or something, I believe.
It was awful what he said.
Well, they took, Pence took contemporaneous notes as everything's going on, and that is a big part of this indictment. Wow. But the guy who got my attention yesterday, again, was Vivek Ramaswamy.
Vivek.
Did you see what he came out saying,
No,
Jack?
flapping. Go ahead.
Oh, you think he's a flash in the pan?
I do.
Well, you're not the only one who thinks that. Here, we got
Aberdeen, although, again.
We'll see, but like he hadn't even, like, seriously, like give this young man a chance.
How dare you?
Come on, the young generation.
Her too. She's on the what's it called? Spectrum.
The spectrum she is.
Oh,
on
definitely.
The spectrum,
Yeah.
How dare you?
Shut up, silly woman.
We got to hit this break, and we'll come back to Babs and
Babs.
Thunder and so many other callers here. Great having you here, Jack Campbell. More news and views after the break.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Bell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Are we loco at Marguerite's? Oh, yeah. Yes, we are. We've lost our mind at Marguerite's. We're doing polish, rhodium, and inspection of rings only, till August 5th for no charge. Now, everyone else charges $150 to $300. We charge $65 to $100. But forget about that. Bring in up to 5 rings. Doesn't matter if they're from Marguerite's or not. Doesn't matter if you ever shopped at Marguerite's or not. It's real quiet. There's no small print on this. Just trying to create a little traffic at Marguerite's. Till August 5th. Bring in your old rings. Let us make them look like new.
Is your cell phone or iPad cracked, broken, or not working right? Don't let the big carrier stores sucker you into a new $1,100 device. Let XI Repair fix your device today. XI Repair fixes cell phones, computers, laptops, iPads, game consoles, drones, and more. Their certified technicians fix hundreds of devices every day. When your device needs care, call XI Repair, 334-777-1234, or Google XI Repair.
Next contestant.
Honey, you look confused. What's wrong?
I'm having a hard time remembering to take my medications like I'm supposed to. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to worry you.
I'm glad you told me, because I heard that Adams Drugs has a medicine on time service that will package your monthly medications and make them easier to manage. Our neighbors, Bill and Leslie, mentioned the other day that they use Adams and how they have made it so easy for them to manage their medications.
Do you think we can call Adams Drugs? Or go by there and see if they can help me? I don't want to get to the point where you have to put me into an assisted living home.
Why don't you get your medications together right now, and let's go down to Adams and talk to the pharmacist.
How much does the medicine on time service cost?
I asked Bill that same question, and he told me it's a free service for Adams customers.
Free? Wow, I'm feeling really good about this already. Let me grab my meds list.
Call Adams Drugs Medicine on time for your pharmacist consultation. Visit us at adamsdrugs.net for more information on our Medicine on Time packaging service.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon, and we have some exciting news to share with you. We've been serving the state of Alabama for many, many years, and now we are able and ready to offer the same great mortgage financing in Georgia and Florida as well.
Our company may be Alabama Home Mortgage, but now we can finance your Georgia home mortgage and your Florida home mortgage too. We couldn't be more excited to extend our customer base to our neighboring states. For years, we have had customers call us in hopes we could assist them with purchasing their vacation cabin in North Georgia or their dream home in Florida. And now we can. For those of you who have family and friends that live in Florida and Georgia, be sure to tell them the good news.
Whether you are looking to purchase or refinance a home located in Alabama, Georgia, or Florida, you owe it to yourself to give Alabama Home Mortgage a call at 567-4223. That's 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com to complete an application on your time.
It's not just a slogan. Call Alabama Home Mortgage because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36-8, Equal Housing Lender.
Are we loco at Marguerite's? Oh, yeah. Yes, we are. We've lost our mind at Marguerite's. We're doing polish, rhodium, and inspection of rings only, till August 5th for no charge. Now, everyone else charges $150 to $300. We charge $65 to $100. But forget about that. Bring in up to 5 rings. Doesn't matter if they're from Marguerite's or not. Doesn't matter if you ever shopped at Marguerite's or not. It's real quiet. There's no small print on this. Just trying to create a little traffic at Marguerite's till August 5th. Bring in your old rings. Let us make them look like new.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by Montgomery Paint and Body. From a little fender bender to total body repair, MPB will fix it good as new, maybe better. For over 35 years, the Turner family has been getting you back on the road. Call 279-7325.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Our hot, dry forecast continues today, and on the horizon, more humidity and the return of random storms soon. Today, with abundant sunshine, high temperature near 96, heat index near or above 100. Tonight, slow down to about 75. Tomorrow and Friday, low to mid-90s both days with triple-digit heat indices, scattered random storms, especially in the afternoon and evening hours. And over the weekend, quite steamy, lots of humidity, more scattered storms, highs in the upper 90s. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
For the lowest prices around on flooring and DIY flooring installation supplies, Budget Floors and More is your new best friend. Luxury vinyl plank, carpet, ceramic tile, floor installation supplies, and more with prices lower than the big box stores. Budget Floors and More, Hunter Lane across from Del Rey Publix.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Got a surprise guest here, Jack Campbell in the studio.
How you doing?
Doing all right.
How you, Eddie?
I'm doing good. Good to see you, Jack.
You too.
It's always nice to see some sunshine in the studio once in a while.
I know. Doom and gloom here.
You'll screw you too. I don't even. Let's go to Babs. I'm not even y'all's GD negativity.
Wow.
Hey, Babs.
Good afternoon.
Hey,
Good afternoon, Babs.
Just had to call in and say hi and tell you you're sounding great.
Thank you, Babs. How
I
are you?
miss hearing your voice. You got to come more often.
I will try. How are you?
I'm great. Now that I heard your voice, I'm really great.
Thank
I love
you.
those two guys anyway, but you just make it that much better, Jack,
Thank
because
you.
I missed you.
How are you, Babs? What you been doing, Babs?
Nothing
Not drinking, I
exciting,
know that.
living day to day, you know. I'm old lady. I'm 82, almost 80. No, I just turned 81. I keep saying I'm almost 82, but I just turned 81. So I'm limited what I do. Try to keep a little bit healthy and try to keep going.
I know you don't drink.
No, sir, I don't drink and
Damn
I
it.
don't smoke. I used to smoke, but no. It probably would do me good sometimes as I'm listening to this program, but I just don't. I want to ask you guys a question.
Okay.
Okay. First of all, Joey, Ramaswamy, it doesn't even seem to be in the loop anymore.
He's rising, and DeSantis is falling, and
Is
everywhere
he?
I turn, he's on the press.
I like him and I like Kennedy both, but I'm a Trumpster all the way.
Oh, sure.
Oh, yeah.
Trump gets elected and he goes to jail. Will the vice president step up?
Yes.
Well, he
Yeah.
better pick a good one, right, Jack?
Right.
We need to get in touch with him and tell, hey, Joey, if you get to talk to him when you go up to hear him, I wish I could afford to do that. I'd love to see him. You put a bug in his ear.
Ramaswamy.
as vice.
He said he likes being the number one guy, but you know what? That
he'll
could
take a
very
number two
well.
on that,
Yeah.
I like Gabby.
Who?
You like Gabby?
I do. For
Yeah,
BP.
I don't have anything against her. Like I said, I'm very impressed.
Did you tell you?
Tulsi
Yeah.
Gabbard? Yeah. Yeah, maybe. I like Tulsi.
Joey's a fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's all right. But anyway, well, thanks for letting me talk, and it's so good to hear you, Jackie.
Thank
Take
you,
care of
Pat.
yourself.
You
You
too.
and Dan are in my prayers every day.
Thank you a lot.
Thank you,
Thank
Babs.
you. That's
Thank
the
you,
reason
Babs.
you're doing so good. So many people are praying for you.
That's right.
That's nice.
Well, and we, of course, are live streaming this thing now, and people are, throwing comments at you. Is that your wife, Eddie? Saying just, "Hey, Jack."
I can't see no comments.
Mama
Depends on which one you're
cat, maybe.
And then Margie Fuller says, "Good to hear, Jack." And then as I took a sip of my Gatorade, I thought Joey was drinking. That bottle looked like liquor.
It's a liquor bottle, Bubba.
Like, I'm not trying to do an advertisement for it, but it's a Gatorade
What,
bottle.
you got vodka in there?
It's,
It's awfully clear.
It's urine.
No, it's not. I'm not Howard Hughes.
Or Steve, what? Wyndham?
Oh, Steve Wyndham does? Wait, that's just...
I have heard that.
What?
I have heard that.
That he can't, what about urine in him?
Lieutenant Governor.
Right, yeah.
That wouldn't let him leave, so he peed in a jug under the desk for a whole day. That's true. That's true.
The things that go on at Goat Hill.
Look it up.
That is what I heard too.
So somebody couldn't leave the floor, so they urinated in a jug.
He was a lieutenant governor.
Oh, wow. He was.
That would overthrow him if he left.
Because he tried to make certain moves. Yeah, I'm
Right.
remembering. Yeah.
They tried to wait him out.
You did.
He's got a weak bladder. Let's just wait.
Oh, goodness
Imagine
gracious.
that, his wife on those cards. I like Steve. He's a good guy. Even though it had to be, We all had to be.
That guy, you're peeing in a jar on the floor. He's a good guy.
Milk jug.
A milk jug.
Yeah.
It's a jug, Joey.
But he's a good guy.
Did what he had to do.
Some people would need a funnel. Oh my God!
Speaking of going to the bathroom, this part of the program brought to you by Bath Innovations of Alabama.
Right then.
And of course, at Bath Innovations, they can help you do full remodels, especially with this new ABS acrylic shower system. Really cool stuff. It's like the same material on a modern car bumper, so very pliable. But once you set it, it's very durable, easy to clean, and you can emboss onto that material any 4K image of any stone you like.
Right.
So it could look like a marble shower. It could look like granite. It could look
like quartz.
like quartz. It could look like brick.
Yep.
You could go for a tile, like a ceramic look, and then they have laser etching where it looks like you have a tile pattern, but you're not going to have to clean grout.
That's what I'm saying. You don't have to clean any grout, Joey.
They also have aging in place solutions for seniors and for those with disabilities and accessibility concerns, things like walk-in bathtubs or bathtub to walk-in shower conversions. Right. And all sorts of modifications, specially designed fixtures and accessories to help, their customers enjoy the bathing experience and, have some peace of mind while doing it. They can help you out across the board there at Bath Innovations of Alabama. So check out Brad McDowell and his team today. You can always call them at 271-2723 or go to bathinnovations.com. The best way to deal with them, stop by that showroom, 2331 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. And be sure to tell Brad and the team that you heard about them here on News and Views in the afternoon. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Men, if you're having issues with erectile dysfunction or feel like your energy level or sex drive is down, maybe you're looking for a boost in the gym or the bedroom, give Montgomery Men's Health a call at 334-440-3663. Get your testosterone tested and get back in the game. That's MontgomeryMen'sHealth.com.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
The River Region's News Talk Station. News Talk 93.1, WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to News and Views in the afternoon. Let's quickly go to Ray Bowles, Prattville Carpet here. Hey, Ray, how you doing?
My head's swimming. This Auburn gig is about to get me. I'm tired.
But isn't it a lovely place to work?
It is a lovely place. And you know what's so great about this 2 weeks? There's hardly any kids there. So you can actually move around quickly.
Oh, yes.
Ooh, that's
Well,
nice.
you're bringing back great memories. My favorite time at Auburn was the summers, where everybody leaves. You can get around town in 5 minutes.
Yeah,
It's great.
because see, what's happening right now, they kick all the kids out for 2 weeks.
Right.
And so they can do all the repairs on the apartments. So we're over here doing, it could be up to 600 units in less than 2 weeks.
Wow.
But the upside to it, we can bounce around town, and you can literally go just a few minutes, you're across town, where normally you go over there, it takes you an hour because of all the kids walking.
Yep.
And then you feel old. Oh, my word. It's like these kids should be in high school or junior high, not college. Am I that old? Yeah.
Yes, you are, Ray.
I didn't want to say it, but yeah.
Yep, yeah. So I feel good about myself running around there because it's nothing but a bunch of old guys running around Auburn right now.
Well, it seems like you're going to make it through the day.
We might make it through the day, but there's a reason why we're over there working our cans off. It's because we provide the service with the pricing, and it just goes all the way down. Give us the call today, 285-8117. We'll come back and give you the free measurement, then we'll go from there, guys.
Well, I really appreciate it, Ray.
Guys, have a great day. Thanks.
You too, Ray.
Bye.
Later, buddy.
272-9228. Now, the guy who impressed me in this, and since other folks didn't seem to hear it,
Vivek.
Here's the video. Ron DeSantis put out a statement. I'll fire the FBI director and I'll stop this weaponization of government.
What Pence said. Oh my God.
But here's what Vivek said, and he did a very quick, well-produced video. Let's listen in.
Another sad moment in our country's history. The 45th President of the United States, Donald Trump, has yet again been indicted by the Biden DOJ, a political party in power that is now repeatedly using police force to indict and arrest and potentially eliminate its political opponents from competition. This is a politicized prosecution. It is a political persecution through prosecution, now in a third indictment just in a matter of months against the person who is still at present the lead contender in the Republican primary for U.S. president. I want to be very clear. I am running for U.S. president in that same Republican primary. It would be easier for me if Donald Trump were eliminated from competition. That's not how I want to win. This is not about politics to me. This is about first principles. We do not want to become a country where the party in power is able to use banana republic-like tactics to eliminate its political opponents. Yet I'm sad to say that's exactly where we are. The allegations in this indictment fall flat. It is wrong and incorrect and inaccurate to place blame for what happened on January 6th at the feet of Donald Trump. I said this at the time. I've said it ever since then. I continue to say it today. I would not have made the same judgments that Donald Trump did in how he handled that day. But that's different from saying that he committed a crime. He did not. He specifically told the protesters that day to behave peacefully. The First Amendment in this country gives political protesters the ability to express themselves and their opinions freely. Donald Trump was not responsible for what happened on January 6th. You want to know what was responsible? I said this in the days after January 6, 2021, just as I say it today. Systematic, pervasive censorship in this country. That was after a year where we had told people across this nation that you had to stay locked down in your house, in your basement, and shut up, sit down, do as you're told. If you question that, you're racist, you're anti-science. Your social media accounts were silenced. You had to stay home and lock down unless you were part of BLM or Antifa, in which case it was perfectly fine to roam the streets of this country and burn many of them down. That was the double standard that then applied and said that if you said the virus originated in a lab in Wuhan, you were again a racist and had your internet accounts shut down. You were then told you had an election where you could express yourself to put the right person in charge of fixing these problems, and instead, your accounts were suppressed if you sent a mere message saying that the Hunter Biden laptop story from the New York Post was real. You had your accounts locked. Even the New York Post had its own account locked. And if you repeatedly then tell people they cannot speak, that is when they scream. If you repeatedly tell people they cannot scream, that is when they tear things down.
I'll stop it there because, well, we're running out of show, but I've heard folks say he's a flash in the pan, he's a phony, I don't like how he made his money. Did you see the World Economic...
I don't give a damn about that. I like him.
No, I'll just say that of all the other candidates other than Trump, he laid it out. I saw you nodding your head there, kind of cheering him on.
I do.
Like, what a crazy, crazy time. And hopefully we can't just be Debbie Downers about it or it's going to work out, right?
Right.
I mean, it's going to work out somehow. I mean, it might be not in my favor.
The good guys are going to win, right? We're the good guys.
Say the Lone Ranger here, Bubba.
I think so.
You think so?
I do.
Anyway, y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Vidal is next, and great seeing you, Jack.
Thank you. Goodbye.